Go. Oh, I got the wrong display on. That should be better. Much better. Alrighty. Well, howdy, folks. Don't really have much on the docket for what absolutely needs to be done today, so we're just gonna hang out and have a good time. I'm waiting for the patch to hit this copper citadel because I've been one shot in the past, so let's just hammer some breaches and look for more citadels. I don't know which way to go yet. Probably this way. Ooh, that one looks kind of pretty. Blooming Field? Yeah, that makes sense. It looks like there's probably going to be a citadel over here based on just... Well, that's a weird looking river bank, but I didn't even realize this now. The river moves. Does the grass move? No, it does not. But yeah, I remember seeing someone say how nothing on the map moves. It's all static except for like one windmill. The water moves. These trees move. The whole map is animated. That's cool. Even these trees are rustling in the winds. Oh man. Alright, so which way are we going? This way is an option, but it's gonna take a little bit of getting to. Going through the mountains here. Oh, do I have a second? I got two copper citadels right beside each other. Oh my. Okay, well that's definitely where I need to go then. We found the way. Alrighty, it's augury. That's unfortunate, but whatever. We're gonna hammer it. Now, I was doing some testing around, messing with some things, and changed the tree a little bit. Got a little bit more move speed, a little more attributes, as you can tell. Not the best balancing, but it's pretty good. I'm eventually going to try and move my controlled metamorphosis to here and come down this way. I'm just needing to fix a few things. Like obviously I saved a lot of points by dropping these crit chance nodes to go on this guy, and as you can tell I have not lost the DPS because I still got 502% crit damage. I was over 600, which is unfortunate that I lost all of that, but I think it's worth it. I may also be dropping these two to go for this attribute, come up here for another skill point lost. And that all sounds terrible, but if I can keep that around 50% crit chance with just the jewels that I have that I kind of stack to try and get the crit chance, come down here, hit these, it'll give me a bunch more attack speed. These will act as like dex travel nodes, which will be fine. I'll get this one as well. I won't be able to reach this node. The big thing that hurts though is I'm going to lose this natural energies with 40% increased maximum energy shield. That's going to hurt. That's like 600 energy shield losing that, unfortunately. But in exchange, I'm going to get the Wildstorm, the Serrated Edges to help reduce the need for the crit chance nodes here and here. And then I'll also be able to get First Approach if I really wanted to, but I won't take it. Mental Toughness if I really wanted to, but I probably won't take it as well. Like, this is a fantastic node. Uh, so yeah, just coming down here to hit these would reduce a lot of pressure, and then I just path to these because these are still good small passive nodes. It's just unfortunately I was very much so skill point starved. Another thing I'm possibly thinking about is finding a way to save all the skill points pathing down here and just like stop at this heroic tragedy and get circular teachings. Because if I could do that, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 skill points. It also sucks that I lose all these 3 to all attributes because that's incredible. It's so good. Like, this is 100% I want to keep it, but if I could save 22 skill points, fix this crit chance wheel by just coming and specking back into these, unfortunately losing the shock magnitude, but yeah, as long as I can get these two notables, and then I could switch to come back up towards here, potentially check to see if pure power is any good, spec more into nodes such like this for more defenses. Uh, if I could get a split base coming back here and grabbing both of these, that would be incredible. Like, absolutely incredible. And that is my thought process for where the build will be going next. Howdy, folks. I see a bunch of viewers have just popped in. How's your day going? But yeah, I definitely have a lot of ideas going forward with this. I had planned on trying to potentially test a few things out today, maybe buy a new chess piece, see how it felt, give you my actual proper uh, opinions of it once I could give you some proper information, but trade site is currently down, so I cannot test that right now. Okay, so let's go with the ritual. The tornado of rats can be annoying. I got crazy high stun threshold, that's why it's not stunning me, but that thing can straight up stun lock you and wreck your life. You can see where the delirium monsters were from that mirror. I'm definitely not the biggest fan of Augury, but it's not the worst map. It's because it's all kind of consistent, you know where to go, you know what to do. It's just the 6-second pull time on these dang levers, that's all. Get rid of the 6-second pull time, make it like a 1 second or no second. Don't make me stand on burning ground for 6 seconds to lose my entire energy shield. Like, if I didn't have crazy defenses, that could just straight up kill me. Like, those are the issues with the Augury map to the people who do not see a problem with it. And you need to clear the area out so well. Oh, 7 viewers, very nice. Howdy do, folks. Quickly go over the quarterstaff minion pack tech. Which way? The one for the big damage or the one for the dodge rolls to give you power charges? Oh, thank you. Appreciate that, Matto. 12 splinters? How did I get 12 splinters from that? That's nuts. I don't know if it's today. I know it's coming soon. I know it's going to be either... Well, it's going to be probably before Friday at the absolute latest, but I'm definitely hoping it's today. With the trade site being down, it looks like they're doing some behind the scenes tech, and so I am doing some hopeful thinking right now. Also, howdy Avinash. I hope I'm saying that right. Oh, this is a interesting area. It's really busy. Okay, let's see here. Let's just hit some random stuff here. Let's go like this, like this. Where's the rest of the bombs? I like the number of rares though. Let's hit number of rares first with that. Then hit these two. Come down here for hexproof with more logbooks. That one's important. Immune to fire doesn't matter. And immune to bleeding doesn't matter. I don't even know what this farthest one is. Yeah, it doesn't matter either. So, charge my staff, let them all pop up so that I can take them out faster. In this case, is like one of the few times I actually put on Avatar just in case they have like some resistances. There we go. And that is all the mobs. Let's see if I can get a logbook. Probably not. You like the trade sites up for you? Oh, interesting. Are there 2 ones? I was talking regarding the power charges and its current temp. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's also a way to use it just to get really high damage on one ability. I'm currently trying to see how I can make it work with a Flicker Strike build, because it's not the best for Tempest Flurry because you don't need the damage, but it's pretty good. But for the Minion pack tech, yeah, I just put out a little video showing it, but here you can see every time I dodge roll an attack, I got it on my quarterstaff strike instead of on Tempest Flurry. I get a charge every single time. The reason for that is because you need to have Minion Pact to remove 100% of your max life from the minion, and Lingering Illusion is the minion. The illusion has 20% of your maximum life though, so the only way to make it work is to have one max life, which is by getting Chaos Inoculation. Also, it needs to have a proper amount of skill duration, so I'm just using persistence so that way it works on like temp chains maps and on chilled ground maps. Without this or a gem that has increased skill effect duration, it just won't work. And also, move speed seems to affect the dodge roll, how long it lasts, so or how long it takes you to recover for it. So move speed affects it, but even if you have no move speed, uh, with persistence on, it still works. But without persistence on, even with the move speed, I do not get it if I do not have a skill effect duration gem on. Alright, so now I like the Tempest Flurry Monk myself, doing Ice Strike right now and wanting to transition. Yeah, Ice Strike is really good, but when you Tempest Flurry, you move, which helps you dodge a lot of attacks, which is super nice for me, super helpful. I like that a lot. You're struggling with spirits and can't buy another chest. You have 26 spirit left, not allowing me to activate Charge Infusion. Uh, what other skills are you doing on there? Because there's some things that might be less important. You probably don't need Charge Infusion unless it's bosses, unless you're really wanting to go fast. In that case, you could just take off Herald Device for the boss and then use Charge Infusion. Because yeah, when I'm using my bossing setup, it heavily axes my spirit as well, and you just kind of have to pick and choose what works for you. Sorry, there's a lot of comments here. Trying to get through all of you. Trying to remove lingering and activate charge infusion resonance to get the power charges. That is a good thought. I like combat frenzy with resonance as well. You can use charge infusion as well to help give you the big. That didn't show anything. To give you the big crit chance. I actually just upgraded this to level 20 last night, and it gives even more crit chance, which reduces pressure on my tree quite a bit. So I've taken off like these crit chance nodes and these crit chance nodes, and it's opening avenues to me. I'm going to do some testing to see what else I can do. I like it a lot. You need lots of attributes before you can fully swap because your DPS goes down. It goes down to only 10k from 80k if I just change the weapon. Yeah, the weapon itself is not the thing you need to swap first. What you need is the gloves, because the weapon scales the gloves. Without the gloves, just keep using a fizz weapon. But this is only about 2 or 3 div right now, so this is pretty dang attainable. Just get one that's 1 to 10 lightning and upgrade when you get better currency and gear. What are the other skills with Minion Pact? They do not matter. It's Soul Thief and Life Thief. They do not do anything. I have no physical damage. They're just on there because why not? And nothing changes except putting Minion Pack, but you need Quarterstaff skill, since why it didn't work for me. You could also put it on Tempest Flurry. Like, it works on Tempest Flurry for sure. Like, there we go. I'm dying to testing again. See, like, dodge roll, Tempest Flurry, it works. Oh, take that guy out because he's trying to chase me down. But yeah, that's all you need is, you need a dodge roll, you need to have mini impact on your ability. If you don't have it, it won't work. You got Lingering, Grim Freeze, Combat Frenzy, and Twin Heralds. Yeah, those are good. Those are really good. If you're still having a lot of trouble getting things on, just don't worry about Combat Frenzy for now. That scales harder the better your gear. So if you don't have the best stuff right now, it's not going to give you as much as just getting something that will give you better defenses. So worry about that first. Surviving is always number one. And think about surviving as like a bit of a damage increase, because you're not needing to run away to get hits off. And on top of that, if you are dying all the time, you're not leveling up, which is a huge decrease to how much damage you can potentially do in the long term. Yeah, my one buddy, he just learned how much he was losing by dying all the time with the glass cannon build, and then he immediately swapped to being tanky, and then after being one level for about 2 weeks, he got 30% of a level towards the next way overnight. And then when he saw how much a single skill point was doing for him, he realized he needed to be tanky. Completely transformed his build. Alrighty, so this is a little bit scary with that one lever being completely under fire, so I'm going to try and build up a little bit of energy shield by taking out this guy, and I know that there's a ton of burning ground here, so it's not the best at all. Let's see, can I get a bunch of energy shield? I got about 2,000. There we go, got a little bit more. Let's see if it's enough to open this. Okay, let's go. Any thoughts on taking Eternal Youth? I don't like it because I got such a big energy shield pool. It's really good if you are like a split base or evasion base, getting a little bit of energy shield, because right now with 9,200 energy shield with my mapping rings on, not my bossing rings, it would only give 1,600 life over the entire duration, so I need to spam this like 6 times to make Eternal Youth work. Meanwhile, I lose the recovery. And I know the thing I hated the most about going life builds was the lack of recovery and needing to rely on mana potions for everything. Here, what do I get here? 1,400. It looks like I'm getting absolutely nothing. Reroll it once. That's not a good version of that bow. I'll just grab a couple of these guys because whatever. Not like I'm getting anything else.
Fury unleashed.
What did I put in place for the Minion pact? I'll show you. I always hit the buttons wrong here. I put overcharge. Overcharge is incredible on bossing. I kind of realized this after the fact. I didn't realize how much better it was. This is like a 15% damage multiplier for your bell, just having it on here. And I also put on Immolate for the bell. It would not work as a standalone skill, and it does not work with what I have going on right now. But when I'm bossing, my one ring has flat fire damage on it. So that makes it so I get 30% more multiplier from that fire damage. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. There we go. It's got like a little delay. I hear the staff charging, but then it just doesn't go off. Ooh. Now I've got to turn off multi-threading here. I had to turn it on for this map. It was lagging pretty hard. But I got to turn it off so it doesn't crash my computer when I go back to town.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm not too sure if anybody has any information on like what are the odds of Orbs of Chance actually succeeding. That'd be great. I've done probably about 50 of these and I've got one single hit from Orbs of Chance, and what I got from it was this Whisper of the Brotherhood, a 1 exalt ring. It was beautiful. I loved it. But it's 1 exalt on the only time it ever worked. So me using Orbs of Chance has generated a combined like minus 100 exalt. So it's not very good numbers. Losing 100 exalt just by trying to win the lottery feels bad, man. Curses have no activation delay. These are pretty cool. Oh, I guess I got them already. Got a low roll, so these are now chant shards. Yeah, well, I hope I was able to answer a bunch of your questions. I know a lot of people seem to have a lot of the same questions, and sounds like the game is just not doing the best job of explaining it if everybody has the same question. Yeah, like if it's 1 or 2 people, then maybe just miss something. But if it's 30 people, then the game needs to do a better job. Also, hello, Pepperly. Hello, Pepperly. What you doing, big girl? Hey, Beverly, come here. Come here. Come on. Yes, good girl. Good girl. Come on. Can I get you on camera? Yes, there you are, big girl. Hi, big girl. Hello. Hello. Hi there. Hi there. What you doing? What you doing? You want your attentions? Oh, yes. Can I have a kiss? Good girl. Good girl. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, she's wanting a treat, but I don't have anything here for you, girl. I'm sorry. I don't know what you're begging for, but I don't have it. Oh. Excuse me, girls. Excuse me. Here, uno dos. I'll pick you up too. I'll pick you up too. Here you go. And this one here is uno dos. She's a little sweetie. Her entire life is based around laying in your arm and getting her tummy rubbed. She doesn't want anything else. She is very happy to live the life of luxury and require nothing else. I'll be right back. I gotta let the puppies out. I think that's what they're asking for. It's that or snacks. They don't really ask for too much else. Well, plays, but yeah. See you in a moment. Whew. Here you go, girls. Here you go, girls. Alrighty. I am back. And we got some more maps to run. I don't even know what I got nearby, so I bought this really big Waystone drop chance map for when I hit that Citadel eventually. But what? It's saying in progress? Guess I gotta go back in the map. I could have swore I completed it. What do we still have left to do here? Or is it just a glitch? Oh, it's saying there's one guy over here that I did not see.
The mighty fall.
Time to get out. Oh, I should check this attuned wand. Apparently there were something from time to time. Yeah, the big girls and Pablo, the kitty, you probably saw him earlier. They require a lot of attention from time to time, and so Pablo especially, he seems to be taking up every single build overview I go through, making sure his presence is known. He's a pretty cute kitty. I'm not working on it right now, but I'm going to eventually be putting a Flicker Strike Flicker Strike version of the build together with using the Minion pact tech. I think that is going to be the best way. It won't be for charging charges with Minion pact. I do not think that works very well. Not when you're using other minions to boost your damage. But for just yeah, hey Pablo, yes buddy, yes buddy, yes I know you're very cute. Okay, here you go buddy, you get this, you get the attention, you get the pets. Do you think it's worth taking this bow, socket, and valet and roll for greater than 250? Are you talking about the purple one with the effect of your quiver? I think that's kitty, kitty. I need my hands. I need my hands, buddy. I need my hands, Pablo. Here, I'll make do with what I can here. I might run out of mana because of this, but here you go, probably get the attention. Yeah, it's definitely worth it if you can get it for greater than 250. I don't know if it's worth buying for it. I don't know how good the bow is myself. I haven't used it, but almost certainly it seems to be a best in slot item because quivers are very strong, and making it essentially 2.5 to 3 time quivers. Oh heck yeah, that's better than what just the stats on the bow ever could be, but it's still going to be a little bit difficult. You're going to have to be an elemental version because you're going to lose that base physical. But with that said, I do not know how the bow builds are working, but it's pretty great. Would you play as Herald of Ice for Elemental Conflux or Herald of Thunder for bossing? Yeah, Elemental Conflux is kind of a meme, but it's also really powerful when it hits. The issue with it is that the elements that it chooses are random, and so you can't just play around it logically. You have to
That
be
should make
luck
things
based. Like you can,
interesting.
I did it for the video there where I slowed down how long it swapped between things, so I was able to get a guarantee for the lightning. But it's definitely not worth it as an all the
That
time
should
skill.
make
It does
things
not work that well.
interesting.
I still can't reach that. Whatever, I guess I'm just not getting it. I don't even want that one. Okay. But yeah, the damage it gives is absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Itching for me to
There's
lose
not really
another
much
limb, are
anything
ya?
better than it, so if you really wanted to play around its weirdness and eccentricities, then yes, I'd say it's worth using.
Itching for me to lose another limb, are ya?
Kitty kitty, I don't know what you're wanting, but I don't got it over there, buddy. That's just my water bottle. Uh, the other thing with Elemental Conflux is the 100 spirit it costs I do not like. Uh, it's only good for bossing, definitely not for mapping. And yeah, you'll notice right away how weird it is once you start using it. But if you're willing to be patient, you can make some pretty good kills with it. I have since tweaked my build so that I do not need it at all. I can one bell the Arbiter boss. I can one bell the
For the
Zesht
monastery.
+4, no problem. Like, it takes nothing. It takes nothing to absolutely nuke them. And so, the fact that it is that way, it makes it so that I don't need to try memeing. If they bring up the health of the bosses, say if they doubled it to 60 million or something, I would then take the build that I currently have and I would do exactly what you're saying. I would take off the heralds and I'd put on elemental conflux, and then I would still be able to one tap the bosses even if they like doubled the health. And then that would make for a great video. 60 million DPS, oh hell yeah. Well, the pups are knocking to come in, so I'll let them in pretty soon. Finish this map with you guys. Which herald would you drop? Herald of Ice first, because it does not activate anything on bosses. Meanwhile, Herald of Thunder, you see how I got 5 stacks? That will stick with the boss, and so considering when it's going, it's like right now with my mapping rings, like 60,000 damage per Thunderbolt. That's nuts. Take that 60,000 damage times 5, 300,000 extra damage. It'll do work for you at the start of the boss fight. That way, one belling bosses. Is there a guide coming? I kind of did one, but yes, 100%. I filmed a guide last night, and I just got to do the post-processing, and I'll show you exactly how I do it and how it works. I need to put on a little bit of an intro where I show exactly how it works, and then the videos that I did last night for showing content of the boss just dying. I just need to post that on afterwards. So yeah, it's definitely coming. It's 100% coming. I also made a pretty good short where a couple of people said it's a no skill build, so I took off all the skills. The only thing that was left on there was Avatar for my Ascendancies and Quarterstaff Strike, and I took out +4 Zesht with that alone. Oh, I was pretty proud of that. I didn't expect it to go as well as it did. The fight went so smooth. Like, you literally don't need skills. It's just way better with skills. Well, if you haven't seen that one, I suggest checking it out. I'm pretty proud of it. I thought it was hilarious. Like, who needs skill?
Arms for the monastery.
Yes, Beverly, I'm coming, girl. She's just knocking at the door to come in, letting me know that she's done out there. Oh, why can't I tap? There we go. The game just wouldn't let me right click for some reason. Alrighty. Gotta go let the girls in. Be right back. 10 seconds. Whew. Here you go, girls. Come on in. Good girl. And I'm back. Howdy, folks. 22 of you guys. Thanks for coming by.
What is it?
These are some pretty good looking numbers. I like that. Makes me think that
Of course.
sticking with Facebook might be the way to get my face out to you guys the best. Might have been silly going to Twitch, but oh well. I guess I'm not going to be able to keep this the most organized this way. So apparently I've been told I do a lot. Most definitely. And so feel like maybe my gang here, all you lovely folks, you are my dukes. Does that sound good? Cause I feel like that's a great name. Oh, how about I just show you how to one bell boss right now? I don't think I have one. I'm gonna have to buy a breach, but I need a breach stone with a little bit of exalted orbs. Here's a little sneak peek as to how to one bell bosses. If you're to test out Flicker Strike, what would be good to take off? Good question. It's kind of hard to take a few things off, but what I'm thinking, uh, it would be to drop Lingering Illusion, because then you'd be going with the Resonance tech. That seems to count a little bit better, but also I know Profane Ritual would be a lot better if you could have it on like cast on gems here. I can't remember which one it's called, so I'm just gonna pull this guy out. Reaper's Invocation. That way when you're taking things out you can cast it, and then you'd be getting a significant amount of power charges when your flicker ends, but you're asking what to take off, not what to put on. So probably Lingering Illusion if you're wanting to do the Resonance tech, but then you couldn't use Profane Ritual. If you want to use Profane Ritual, drop Combat Frenzy. You could also drop potentially like Herald of Thunder and just use the Herald of Ice from the freezes from your flicker if you have enough cold damage. That's it's a little bit difficult. Also, for mapping purposes, you could just straight up drop the bell and put bell on for bossing. It's a little bit... I don't have the best answer for you. Charge Infusion might be the best one to drop, honestly. You're going to be really skill point or skill starved if you're taking 2 attacking skills. But unfortunately, you're going to need them unless you can find some way to drop Tempest Flurry, which would be kind of interesting because you can do a no charge flicker on the very first one. That first charge would obviously get like the Herald of Thunder proc going, and then after that first one goes, you'd probably be smooth for the rest of the map. But I don't have the best answer for you right now. Unfortunately, these are just what are in my head bouncing around for ideas. I haven't yet tested and built together a perfect flicker character, but that is what's currently in my mind for what could help you a lot. Alright, so now... Oh, Manoramimus is right there. I don't need it for bosses anymore, as you know, but it's still good to put it in for good practice. Yeah, no problem, Nichols. I will put together something, but it'll be after the patch, just to see how everything works. I'm going to put up an update for this as well, with kind of what I'm showing you now, with like with this ring with the fire damage, so I can use Immolate and all the damage gems on Tempest Bell and using Overcharge. So I think this is kind of fantastic. So with Warrior, you don't have enough actual spirit to use everything, so I take off charge
Winter
and fusion for the
prevails.
first bit. Or, actually, I'll take off combat frenzy for the first bit, so I still get the guaranteed crits. Keep Herald of Ice on. I just charge up the staff once, hit this guy, get a few charges, and go to town. Yeah, as you can see, you don't really need the survivability on this bit when you blow everything up. And then I just make sure to stay a little bit back, so that way you don't get charged. But even if you don't want to stay back, say you wanted to just keep going hard, yeah, it's no problem. Just don't get stuck on a tree like I did there. Keep up your explosions, keep up your charges, and then yeah, you could go ahead and grab everything, but personal preference, I like to stick back just a little bit. Avoid those like on deaths for literally no reason. If you guys have any more questions, this is definitely the time to ask it. I can answer it pretty well here. There's a lot of comments and it's hard to keep up with all you guys, but I do my best. I hope you guys aren't feeling like I'm not answering something, because I want people to succeed at this game for sure. Like, I had a lot of help when I first started out, and I'm trying to pay it forward. Like, probably the biggest help I ever got was like learning how to craft, and unfortunately that is not really something that's in this game yet. It's all luck based, so it doesn't really interest me like the deterministic crafting from the first game. But are the jewels necessary for stat stacking very expensive? Yeah, they kind of are. They're about a div a piece. I bought all my jewels for one div each, obviously. Not all of them together, but some of them early on I bought some really good ones for like a couple of exalt, because it was before people knew what they were worth. And so yeah, like this here cannot be inflicted with corrupted blood is nice, but dexterity, strength, intelligence, and dex, yeah, those attributes do huge wonders. Just seeing the no skills talk about memeing, yeah, I was really having fun with that one. Thanks for all the answers. You're trying to make a boss scary build, which is working okay, except for Zesh T4. I'm struggling. Well, you came at the perfect time, Mass, because I'm about to show exactly how to deal with that. So obviously I got really good stats, and so this is kind of stats dependent, but as long as you just keep upping your build, you'll get there. This, I think, was 6 divine or 5 divine. It wasn't that much because it doesn't have the 5th socket, but it has 6% attributes, so I'm only losing 1% attributes compared to 5 sockets, and having 5%. So then I made my rings as good as they can be. It's a good thing I looked, because those are my mapping rings. You put on your bossing rings. I have one build the boss with my mapping rings, but as you can see, bossing rings are much better. Getting the cold damage on the ring allows me to get the freeze off on the bell, because as you can see on here, 30% more damage per elemental ailment inflicting the bell. That stacks every single time. So I am getting the ailment from shock with the lightning damage from the gloves and everything else. I'm getting the ignite from the fire. I'm getting the chill and the freeze from the cold, so that's already 4. And then I'm also getting electrocute from the charge staff. That's why it's really important to have charge staff up on at the very beginning. I put Minion pact onto my quarterstaff strike so I can charge my charge staff before doing anything, and I got overcharge on here to increase the magnitude of shock to make the boss take about 15% more damage from the shock. So you'll see with all of this working together, it's amazing. And so Immolate on the bell says that it cannot inflict ignite, but my Tempest Flurry ignites almost immediately. On my no skills one, I accidentally had Immolate on my quarterstaff strike, so it could have been even better if I had another skill on. But so I essentially 5-linked that boss with just quarterstaff strike. But so you got all that set up. if you are having mana issues, you take out Grim Feast for mana remnants and you put in Clarity. Grim Feast works on bosses. A lot of people don't think it does because it says 20% chance to spawn on killing a shocked enemy, but it also says spawn a remnant on critically hitting a shocked target no more than once every 2 seconds. This is even every 2 seconds. It's extremely helpful against bosses when you're still worrying about having enough mana costs. You take off Herald of Ice and you put on whichever you turned off of Charge Infusion or Combat Frenzy. Hi Beverly. Hi girl. Sorry girl. No boops right now. I gotta finish this. And then that is everything. You have your avatar charged and ready to go from the waves. And you have on your Tempest spell Rising Tempest, which gives 12% more elemental damage for each skill of recently used different elemental type. And Avatar is Lightning Cold Fire, so it gives you all 36% from Rising Tempest. It is incredible. So what you do is you have your charge staff ready to go. You wait for the boss to spawn, and as soon as you start just doing your Tempest Flurry auto attacks kind of thing, you activate Unbound Avatar and then drop the bell. And because everything is going... Ah, shit. I just bumped the button by accident. Well, I'll show you what it's like without Avatar now. But it's... You've seen in the videos, I definitely have proof of concept. Don't accidentally bump your mouse after petting your dog. That messes things up. But here, this is without Avatar. You come here, you drop the bell, and you just go nuts. It's going to be 2 bells without Avatar, 1 bell with. I'll do that again right quick. That was funny and a little bit embarrassing, but oh well. Beverly girl, I love you too. You're bumping everything, girl. I've given you the treats. I've given you the love. You've been outside. You want me to toss the toy? Okay, here you go. Here you go. Ready? Go get it. Go get it. Go get it. There you go. Good girl. Good girls. Alrighty, I'll buy another one. Show you proper. I'll try not to bump the mouse button this time, but I mean, it still worked pretty dang good. I gotta be cheap on these. They sell really fast, so as you can tell. So with how many of these I've done, if I paid full price for every one, I'd be broke.
Time is of the essence.
These are all level 82 rings that I will eventually craft onto to hope for the best. They don't do too much, but they do help and they do sell. I've made more than I've lost trying to craft onto them, that's for sure.
And shatter they shall.
Doing one more because I gotta show you a proper version of it where everything just pops. So yeah, this is extremely consistent. It'll work every single time that you do it. You just gotta make sure to have on the proper rings when you hit the boss. I don't even know if Magic Find works here for the waves, but I do it because why not? If it does give me better rarity, then great. I've not seen a single tier 20 skill gem. I've not seen a single divine or anything like that drop, but a guy can hope. Maybe it'll be right now that it's on camera and I called it out. All I have to do is tempt the RNG gods. That or else because I said it on camera I'll never get it now. So yeah, this here, it very easily carries a 6-person party for the wave. With its bossing though, the boss gets so much health that it can still be a little bit difficult. If I were to get Astromentus though, I don't think it would be even remotely an issue. It'd like triple my damage. So if I ever do get Astromentus, the first thing I'm gonna do is try to hit a 6-person party plus 4 breach and see just how good it feels. Yeah, if I get that, I think the rest of my game will be just like selling breachstone runs until I'm rich and max level. I haven't sold a single one yet. Every one I've done is free, and I want to keep it that way until I can take the boss out with the party. I don't see really a reason to do it if you're not also taking out the boss. And you also can't expect the party to contribute or help out if they're paying for a run. They're doing that for a service. They shouldn't be expected to really do anything else other than get what they paid for. Right, so this wave, everything's that I don't. Yeah, I've had that chess piece before. Grab some scrolls of wisdom, because why not? Then yeah, again, just put on mana remnants if you need it. I don't, but this is good practice to have. Turn off your Herald of Ice so that you can get all your other skills, because more your nukes what you can use. Put on your bossing rings, and that's everything. You got 230 divines? Or you say 230 divine too far. What do you mean by that? Because I don't have 230 divine into this build. I got less than 100, but well, with this bossing chest, I guess you could consider it 100. So, what did I forget to swap over? What did I forget? Something went wrong here. Something went wrong. What did I forget? How do you do? Oh, that's really weird. He took 2 bells and I don't know what happened. That's literally never happened before with this setup. So I definitely messed something up. I had Avatar. I dropped the bell. Did I not have... Yeah, I don't think I had my charges on. That's probably what it was. I didn't have charge staff. That does that. I'm a legend? Well, thank you very much, Chill. I appreciate that. And also, howdy do, Zoo. I just filmed your build overview. I will need to clean it up a little bit so I can post it and get a thumbnail, but it's filmed and it'll be out tonight.
What is it?
I am kind of jealous of your belt. Like, holy, your belt is amazing. Oh yeah, Astromentus. Is it 230 now? If so, that makes me sad. Last night I was looking at it and it went up again and it was at 180 and I was like, am I ever going to be able to afford this? And if it went up to 230, it's going up way faster than I can ever earn currency, and that makes me sad. I guess I'll just have to start chancing. Oh, you got him for the first time today? Very nice. Very, very nice. You just bought the Jewel, right? You just bought the Heroic Tragedy? You must be beastly tanky now based on all that energy shield I saw in your gear. Beverly, what you doing, girl? What you doing? What you doing? What is it, girl? What is it? I'm wondering if because I dropped my crit damage, it's not one-tapping it. I just swapped my skills around last night, so maybe that's the reason why it felt a little bit less. Let's see. Let's try that.
What is it?
Refund passives, take these 3 out and put these 3 back in. I got the gloves with lightning pen 12%. That's not bad. It's definitely not a bad...
I must
Oh,
meditate.
Beverly, no girl. No, no, no. You're ridiculous, girl. These girls are nuts. They are asking for all the attention right now. I gave them snacks and loves and all the attention already this morning, and they just want more. Oh, there you go, girls. There you go. The Russian guy selling for 20 div didn't reply. Yeah, sounds about right. Unfortunate. Yeah, I don't know why people post things if they're not planning on selling it. Like, I get it, they're price fixers to try and make other people sell it for that price, and then they snag it off them for the cheap. It's just dickhead behavior, though. Like, oof. It's a game. It's meant to be enjoyed, not meant to be scammed. This one's actually potentially worth something. Let's corrupt it. I don't know what changed. See, I don't have Sidekick open yet. Let's open Sidekick. Well, if only the Russian guy was selling Astramentus for 25 div. That's what I would want. Go check in these 3 mods because they're the ones that matter. And it looks like about 20 Exalt. It's been up there for a couple days too, which is unfortunate. But you know what? Let's put it 15 then. Hope for the best.
Hello there.
Do I have any more Exalt? I got a few more. I got enough for one more test.
Thunderous demise.
Hey.
You found my channel today, Bobby? Well, thanks for coming out. Good to have you around. Think I'm putting out some pretty fun content, that's for sure. I love making the meme builds. They're so much fun. Let's buy it for 60 then. Oh, I think I did a little check of how... Yeah, you like the Goku shirt? It's fantastic. I got a few of them. Here, I'll show you this. Got a pretty good one on my wall here too. I love this one. And I got another one in my kitchen. I'm a nerd. I'm a complete nerd, don't you worry. So yeah, I found out that to go from absolutely zero gear to having a pretty solid version of this build, not endgame, but really solid going, you can try this build out for about 16 or 17 div. That would be with having a really good version of this weapon, a good version of these gloves, decent rings that will get you there, decent helm, amulet, boots, chest, not this chest, but a defensive one, and all the jewels in the tree is about 16 div. Do we need low level Tempest Flurry? If you have a low level Tempest Flurry, it'll help you with your mana cost issues if you have it, but I'm rocking a level 19 one, and I don't really have mana cost issues. It goes down pretty slow. And I gain it back faster than I spend it for the most part. Hence why I got rid of Elemental Invocation, got rid of the mana issues. I wanted that just gone. I hated the mana issues, and now I don't need to worry about it. Drop this. Also, something like Clarity with a decently large mana pool helps, and you get the mana pool from your instacking.
And shatter they shall.
The first Vegeta versus Goku fight is so good. It's kind of funny how dated it is. So like when Vegeta and Nappa land and Nappa blows up a city and he's like, oh, it's a shame it's Sunday because then those buildings would have been full. It's like they were trying so hard to be politically correct at the time, but then that fight comes and they didn't hold anything back. Nappa just wrecking people, blowing up Yamcha at the start, Chaozu with her not safe for TV act right now. Like she's able to, or he's able to do that, but they can't say that the buildings were full of people. Within 10 divs, if you're willing to cheap out on the belt a bit, yeah. The Ingenuity belt is definitely expensive, but you don't need it right away. It'll definitely boost what you got for rings by a massive margin, but you can get a tri-res belt with, or like a 2-res plus 1 attribute belt with like some mana or something on it for really cheap. You need the jewels and some decent rings. Rings are definitely a thing that you need to invest in, unfortunately. Yeah, there's no getting around that. Yeah. Yeah, I had just put this on last night, so obviously I went from like 500 and something crit damage, and now I am going to be at... Well, I'm at 527. What did I change? I know I took all this off, so I'm losing some crit damage bonus there. Do I even need that much crit chance? Let's see here. What am I at? 50.3, so yeah, I just hit the breakpoint now. I'm trying to find ways to come down here and move controlled metamorphosis to here, and I'm really close to getting it. But for now, I just got like the move speed and a little more defensiveness. If I needed the more damage, I could definitely like take these 2 points off and this point here and come into like the more crit damage, more crit chance, and find a lot of different ways to do this. I'm kind of also liking this 8% attack speed with the knockback. It's really, really good. There's a lot of ways to go about this. Just needing some more testing. Gotta go wipe the army real quick. That wasn't even an army. Like the tanks and everything rolling in. they they didn't even get a participation trophy. They just got deleted. To 50% skill effect rule, but the pact illusion doesn't work. Do I need more of it? The easiest way to go about it is just use the persistence on here. I wanted to keep it on avatar, but just put it on persistence. If that's the case, then yeah, it'll help a lot. It'll work on chilled ground, and it'll work on tep chains maps. And you bought that belt with 48% for 4 div. Don't want to know how expensive the higher ones will be. If you got it for 4 div uncorrupted, you robbed that guy blind. Holy, 4 div? That's crazy cheap. Good on you, Clint. Like, yeah, the higher ones, they're about, I think this one here is about 20 div right now. Yeah, and then you can divine the 48 to be even better. My buddy just had like a 40 something drop on his first ever version of that, or first ever time trying that map, and yeah. I got very jealous. Then he hit it with 1 divine and got it up much, much, much higher. And what time's the patch? I'm not too sure. They had the site down for maintenance, and that means that they're working on something. I don't know if the patch will be today, but they're definitely working. They haven't announced anything yet. We'll hope for the best. It might not be till Friday. It might be today. We're all just in limbo right now. If the Pillar Cage God gets nerfed eventually, I have a feeling it will later down the line, then I think people will finally realize how much crit chance and bonus damage matter in a normal staff. They very, very, very much do. 60% uncorrupted for 7 divs. Holy. Yeah, during the panic sale, it was daylight robbery. Yeah, people are selling things for just silly numbers. Absolutely silly numbers. Here, I'll show you how I had this put up when I did the last video. And I can come like this for more crit damage, come like that, refund this crit chance, and I'll have more than enough. That one's taken off. Yeah, I got more than enough crit chance. I think this is how I had it set up. It was pretty close. If I had something different, I don't really remember. But yeah, this was pretty much it. Tempest Flurry, 299,000. I got 564% crit chance, or crit damage, more than enough crit chance with the charge infusion to get over 50%. Yeah, I'm sure I'm missing something, but not a big deal. We'll figure it out live, I guess. Copy your build as close as possible yesterday, but you only got to about 70k on my Tempest Flurry. Have no idea how mine is so high. Mine is so high because just the way I have the skill set up, this one here, still when you take it off, it's like 100k DPS from it. It's a really good stat stacking one, but this is only for breaches and some certain bosses. The more you put on the rings, stacked with the belt, the higher it goes. And you need attributes everywhere. I got the 12% lightning damage on the gloves. I got the 12% weapon damage for 5 strength on here. I got the crit damage. Attributes on the helmet. Attribute stacking here. Attributes on the rings. Magic. Mapping and bossing. They're both the same way with big attributes and added damage. Here, more attributes. More attributes. And then on the passive tree, attributes on every jewel except for that one with corrupted blood. all that attribute stacking does crazy, 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 crazy amounts. And yeah, you need that. Oh man, Zoo. 4 divine to get 80. I'm jealous. I'm really, really jealous. And you're not in the game for the currency. I sell my old stuff when I don't use it for lower prices. You're a good guy, Clint. You're a real good guy. Most people want to make a huge profit off their low stuff, not realizing you could just help somebody. And how to check if your crit chance capped. You come to your weapon and you see your critical hit chance. I'm at 44% normally, but with the infusion I get to 53.3. So yeah, you have to look at his build and realize the synergy with attribute stacking. It is deceptive how much I have. Yeah, it is. It really is. And it's deceptive how much it does. This guy just ran away from me. There you go. Yeah, I got a whole bunch on every little piece that I have, and it adds up so much. And my gear could be a lot better too, because a lot of it is like mid-roll attributes, or like mid-roll energy shield, or mid-roll crit chance. But the fact that they all synergize and just I have good buffs and good skills on everything, it's super worth it. It's super, super worth it. Alrighty. Rocking and rolling. I don't know how I keep coming back to breaches. I really like this content. It's probably my favorite thing to do in the game right now for this. I like the boss fight a lot. It's a shame that I kind of take him out as fast as I do now, because I did it a lot in the past. But I don't know. I just really like how this is all designed. I like their new Chayula fight. I like breaches in general. I kind of wish more mobs came out here and gave more experience, but oh well. You need... Sorry, I'm trying to read the chat right now, but apparently it moved faster than I expected. 4 divine for 80, you got the same setup except for the chest, and I probably got like 100 less dex and strength. Yeah, you really need to stack all those attributes a lot. 300 is the dexterity breakpoint that you definitely want. It's really important. Strength, with the 12% weapon damage per 5 strength, scales your flat damage from your rings and your gloves to the absolute moon. They are wonderful. You need a lot of strength stacking. Without it, you are handicapping yourself a lot. It's even more important than intelligence, except for intelligence also gives the area of effect, but strength also gives your survivability, so that is definitely a thing. Yeah, good practice. Put your mana remnants on for Grim Feast, and turn off Herald Device. Get your Combat Frenzy. Here you got your 5 Herald of Thunder procs for the big hits. Put on your map or your bossing rings. Now I'm getting like 55k base, and that's before upping the crit chance even more to guarantee the crit. Yeah, my one friend, he's one of the guys that got hacked, and we really supported him back into the game because, well, I mean, we even supported him before that, but losing someone to the game because of stupid stuff like that makes me sad. There you go, see? One bell the boss. All you have to do is hit Avatar, then drop the bell. And as long as you drop the bell within 4 seconds of hitting Avatar, you get fully charged Rising Tempest, and you can one-tap him every single time. I don't know what happened wrong last time, but as you can see, proof of concept, he popped. I wanted to give you guys a proper one. And yeah, the fact that he one-taps without Elemental Invocation or Cast on Shock, that's why I dropped it. It's just a big spirit cost for essentially no gain. And I like this setup a lot. It feels smooth. You just charge the staff and go in. That's all you gotta do. Do, 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 do. But yeah, I personally would not swap mana remnants anymore because I don't have the mana issues. But a lot of people do, so I try to show it, because if you don't show it, people might miss the step. And I don't want anybody to get confused and have problems. Oops, rare. There we go. Don't want to misplace my wonderful, wonderful rings that I don't know how much they're worth now, but they're definitely worth more than what I paid for. This is the only one, oh sorry, no. This is the only one I paid a lot for. I paid 20 div for this thing because it was absolutely everything I needed with the fire and cold for the bell. And on this one here, I think I paid 2 div, and each of these I paid 1 or 2 div for. This one I actually paid 2. He had it listed for a couple days as well, so I don't know how nobody scooped this up. This thing is amazing. Giving things away. Zenith use 4 divine. Yeah, sorry, I'm catching up. Swap some stuff when you get more currency, more of those attributes. Yeah, like legitimately, if you don't have attributes on the jewels, you are losing so much damage. This is number 1. And thank you, Clint. Yeah, the damage is nuts, absolutely nuts. And I'm nerfing the damage right now. Like, I know taking these off hurt my damage, but I'm trying to find something a little bit special that I think is going to work out and make people happy when I figure out the ins and outs of it. Like, legitimately, all I have to do once I figure out how to make it work with Careful Assassin and dropping these 6 points to come down here to then manually pick these up, but then also get Wildstorm is going to be way, way better. I'm going to get Serrated Edges and Wildstorm, and I think it's going to be better. But for right now, I'm doing this, and I'm just getting a little bit of dex and attack speed. Give me some time. I think I'm going to need a Megalomaniac to pick up something far away. Probably these guys would be the best. Then yeah, I don't know. It's got a lot of work to do. But yeah, is my friends rhyming with Snoobay? No. I'm not friends with Snoobay. I've commented on a few of his videos. He seems like a really good guy. He definitely knows his shit. But I do not know him personally. If I did, that'd be kind of cool. I'd get some tips from him because he's got a much, much, much larger YouTube channel than I do. And I'm sure he would have a lot to share. Another thing is, I do not rock this in maps ever. It gets you killed. This is much, much, much better to have. Alrighty, so now continuing rocking towards this lovely little citadel to go right beside this citadel. After not finding any in all of this for a long time, I'm very happy to have found 2 citadels next to each other. So it's good enough. It's a delirium mirror, so I don't need to add delirium to it. I saw my name in his comments and was like, hey, I know that guy. Oh, I don't even know when that happened. If you would, I'd actually appreciate seeing when that was. That'd be pretty cool. Oh, my name in his comments as like the video. Yes, yes, I know what you're talking about. Because I was literally, the morning he put out the video about dual charge tech, I was putting something together for Charge Infusion with Lingering Illusion and Combat Frenzy. I was recording it, and then he put that video out like probably about 4 hours before I could have, and it's like, oh no, you beat me. And there's no point putting it out anymore. So then I decided to try and find something that took advantage of, I guess I should say, Minion Pact, with also using the Infusion tech, and then with using Skeleton Brute and Reaver. Brute worked better, but even better than that most likely would be to get, come on, all gems, there we go, Minion, to be getting Skeletal Cleric and using 2 of them, because they're only 20 spirit, they cost so little, so very little. You get more max life from the quality, unlike the Reavers, which get increased effective rage. They still draw aggro like the Skeletal Brute, and they heal each other. Cleric is better than Brute, 100%, and this is the next little... I hit cap locks. There we go. 30% more max life. It's going to be the next little bit of minion tech that I show off, and this is what I am going to be using to help me with simulacrums, because simulacrums, a big problem is the minions are, or the simulacrum enemies are invulnerable for a time, and it's kind of obnoxious. So using the minions to split aggro is extremely helpful. And so something like overcharge is not really useful in simulacrum, but minion pact would be. You don't need the extra charge that way, so you know what, I'm going to do this map and then just show you the minion tech, because why not? But yeah, Snoop seems like a really solid dude, but I am still really new to the scene, so I don't think anybody knows my name except for you wonderful people now. But eventually I'll get it out there, as long as I keep putting out good content. If I start lying to people, that would be bad form, so I definitely don't want to lie. I want to give good proof of concept. I want to back up my words and show like how to actually help you. This right now, the build is doing more damage than some other people's versions of the builds that have Astramentus, and so as soon as I started realizing just how much it was doing, not cheap, but on the cheap compared to other builds, I felt like it should have been shared. Like, it's one of those that take work, but hey, if you put in a little bit of grind and get a little bit lucky, you'll get there. And really, the most expensive thing on the build by a lot is, unfortunately now, the Timeless Jewel, and then the belt. And you don't need the Timeless Jewel to make the build work, and the belt is kind of a stretch goal as well, so I feel like sacrificing that little bit will still allow you to have a really good time with something that is way better than just a regular Fizz Staff. And those Fizz Staves seem to be way more expensive than the gear that this requires. Why can't I attack? There we go. Oh, I guess I was moving slow on that one. A little distracted, I guess, with the loot. There we go. Lots and lots of explosions. I think that's when I first put this together and I discovered that you could get heralds with pulse recline. That was an absolute game changer for me, because I liked what the pulse recline ring was doing, but the fact that it took up a ring slot even before I had the belt made me sad, because I was like, the pulse recline ring is doing almost nothing for me. Oh, not that one. That's a terrible, terrible shrine. I felt like I was dying because of the pulse recline ring, even though that my clear was better, and I was just using regular Herald of Thunder and a Fizz Staff then. Then I found this tech, and it completely changed the game for me. Like, completely changed the game. Right, so here it's the same concept. Drop Avatar, drop the bell, kill the boss. And that's every, I guess, tier 16 boss this would be. Let's grab the AUG, because why not? After this, I'll try to grab Simulacrum. I am almost done it. I have 3 of them. I need to get a 4th, but they're a little expensive. That's definitely the worst part about the content here is with all the testing I do, it's unfortunately makes it hard to get some gearing, but luckily I get lucky sometimes, and like the second Simulacrum I did, I got the mana potion, and that thing sells for, I got 23 div for it, and so that definitely offset the cost of a lot of the other testing I was doing and allowed me to keep going. And then I also got a massive ring diamond from the Breachlord boss, and that thing sold for 13 divine. So just those two things is 26 divine. You're in a pretty good spot with that, and then just basically everything else was slowly over time or selling. For whatever reason, I had a bunch of perfect jeweler orbs drop. Like, they're nuts. They were selling for 3 div for a while, and that stockpiled a lot of what I needed. And yeah, it's just cascading. Take all those lucky drops, sell the unlucky ones, craft the things that look like they have some potential. Don't just sell them for somebody else to craft, because it takes one good Exalt Slam to quadruple your profits. Why do I not play Ice Strike? I kind of went over that in the last one, I'm pretty sure. Oh no, I went over that in the last stream. It's because Tempest Flurry, you're able to move around when you're doing it. Ice Strike kind of roots you. And because it roots you, it gets you hit by more things, and I wasn't a big fan of that. I did use it for a long time. I think Ice Strike is the best when leveling, way better than Tempest Flurry. I should say leveling in the campaign. And it's also good in the lower level maps. But as soon as you get to the higher level maps, you need to be on the move or else you're just going to get hit, especially when you have 0% evasion. That little bit of mobility saves your butt a lot. Plus, Tempest Flurry seems to do a heck of a lot more damage because the damage is derived from hitting the bell, and Tempest Flurry hits the bell faster and more often. You've been watching my videos recently. You play Ice Monk and just don't have the time to grind to get divines and buy gear to make the build OP. Have you seen the Dodge Blink Spark build? It looks fun and fast. Yeah, that thing is incredible, but if you think my build is expensive, don't look at the cost of the Dodge Blink Spark one. That one needs Temporalis, and that thing is over 100 divines. That one chest piece is worth more than the rest of my build combined. And while it is probably the strongest build right now because Dodge Blink Spark is nuts, it also relies on a bit of broken tech with the Choir of the Storm amulet that goes with the Temporalis to reduce the blink cooldown and the internal cooldown of the Choir of the Storm. If anything is going to be hot fixed, it would be this, because it's crashing servers, and that's something that GGG doesn't like. They don't want their game to die, because this scaling literally infinite damage when it crits off itself. But it is pretty crazy. It requires almost no investment, just this ring and Temporalis, or sorry, this amulet and Temporalis, and you're instantly OP. What percent of ingenuity is best to invest on? As high as you can afford. Oh, I'm trying to read your name, Purushothan. That's a little bit of a different one. Purushothan. I'm sorry, that one is really hard to read. But yeah, for any character, just as high as you can get. I got 74. Look into what you got for breakpoints. I found out that I needed at least 74 to hit the breakpoints for a lot of my stuff, mostly the elemental resistances I was looking at. And so I went from 71 to 74, and I got basically, I think it was about 4 more to all stats with my rings, my bossing rings, and, or maybe it was more than that, but here it was about 4 more to all stats and 2 to all res and stuff like that. So it was a big improvement for me. Well, hello from India. If you are into India, I'm making assumptions now. Apologies for that. But I've just never heard that name before. Like, I have a few Indian friends, but not too many where I'm from. It's kind of a small city, so most of the cultural diversity that we have is from the Philippines or from Nigeria or China, really. And so, unfortunately, not the most exposure to the Indian culture here, and it's kind of depressing because you guys have amazing food, and I've seen a lot of really nice people, but small towns in Canada, well, I guess I should say small cities in Canada, just don't have the most diversity. 60% delirious, very nice. Got 3 delirious maps on that. I got those from rarity map 2. Really nice. I got those from this first node from the simulacrum here. Waste nodes in your map have a 20% chance to have random distilled emotions. This is crazy good. It gives you uh, so many maps to give you so many more splinters, because before I literally could not farm a simulacrum in about like 400 hours. I had 230 splinters, and I have spent this about 10 hours of this, and I got 206 without target farming it whatsoever, just hitting random maps and not even thinking about it. And I've almost got a full simulacrum without thinking. If I had been target farming it using... Oh, I got a suffering? When did that drop? It's about a div. I probably need this one, but yeah. As you can see, I'm getting some pretty good stuff without even knowing that I'm getting it. And every once in a while I'll use like Ire or Greed or Paranoia on maps, because this one gives more rare monsters, this one gives more rarity, this one gives more magic monsters, but it all helps a lot. It's very traditional name, and you do live in India, and Eldrago in games. Eldrago's a pretty badass sounding name. Kinda sounds like Khal Drogo from Game of Thrones, and I'm a big Thrones fan, except for don't read the last seasons, and unfortunately it looks like or don't watch the last 2 seasons, and unfortunately it doesn't look like the last 2 books are ever really coming out, or maybe 3 books if he makes it a threefer, but I do like that. That's a pretty cool name, Eldrago. Does it mean dragon, or does it have another meaning? Is unlocking Altus points just grinding until you get the book to drop? I've only seen one boss book, no other trees. So you gotta actually go in there and read what it does, because on these ones here, you hover over this and it'll tell you exactly how to get the points. So like this, you have to hit the higher level bosses. In this, you have to complete simulacrums of a higher tier, but as long as you unlock the points to get +1 simulacrum difficulty, it will unlock every time. For Arbiter, you have to beat the Arbiter, again with getting +1 Arbiter difficulty every time. With Expedition, you have to find the boss. Unfortunately, the boss seems to be random. I've heard that there's potentially a way that you can see if it's going to have a boss, but I don't know of the way. I wish I did, because then I would target farm it, get more Expedition points. Breach is also clearing the Breach Lord. You have to go and check it out every time, and then Ritual is the most painful because Crux of Nothingness. That invitation, oof, it's expensive. It's so expensive. But I bought the first ritual here for chance to contain omens, and the second one for chance to contain audience with the king. It cost me 14 divines to get these, but then literally 3 rituals later, I found another audience with the king to allow me to get this one. I have not seen one since, so yeah. And you say you've run 3 logbooks, yeah. I think it's like on average every 10 to 20 you'll get a boss. 20 is on the extreme high end. I've seen the boss twice, and I've run probably about 15 of them. You're done with T16 with +1 or 2, but doesn't seem to be very exponential and adding more better loop drops. Are you sure about that? Because, like, the big thing is getting really well rolled maps and rolling on the waystones. But with me having quantity of items on the boss, and then 20% chance to drop a waystone, and then just increasing the boss difficulty and getting it all up, I could go with like Essence or Strong Box, but I like the Shrine the better. It allows you to clear the map. I don't need it anymore. I could go Essence, honestly. That's probably better now. But then Irradiated, so having a good, it being guaranteed irradiated and having a good chance to be corrupted could make a lot more area level 82 maps if you use a tier 16 map to go on with it, to make the double plus to be a tier 18 map. This gives you way better stuff because you can get the level 20 skill gems potentially. They're rare, but you can get them. With the waystones here, I get like 4 or 5 generally. Well, let's just say 3 or 5 tier 14 or 15 maps to drop from the boss. It's nuts. And then the quantity, it's a loot explosion every time you kill the boss. I like the map bosses a lot, and unfortunately they don't pop up every tile. I got a pretty good set right here with 3, and one over here and one over here. But for the most part, and I got 2 here, but for the most part it kind of looks like this, or like this, with just a few map bosses. When they release the precursor tablet that allows map bosses to be summoned from the tower, that's probably going to be my favorite one. Probably going to be doing it even more than breaches. Like, I really like the map bosses. They give a lot. You can sprint to the map boss and just take it out, get a huge bunch of waystones, and oh, I love it. It's super worth it. You run breaches and expedition whenever it shows up. Expedition is fun. Uh, it doesn't give the most unless you get the logbooks, but yeah, it's definitely pretty fun. Do you have the whole unlock thing for like the remnants? Because I've heard that just like quadruples the rewards with the really good remnants. I obviously don't have it, so I can't check it, but I've heard very good things. You're running Fizz Lightning Staff. Do you think plus level melee skill is a wasted mod? It's definitely not a wasted mod. It's just it has some downsides, unfortunately, because like let's put for example plus lightning skills. Right here I got 31 mana. If I were to take off this no scaling mod, it goes to 35 mana. And so going up every time is really painful. So even still, like if I take this off without 40% reduced cost, it's 51, then it goes up to 58. Like it's a lot of mana cost per each level, so it can be really hard to deal with. And so one really nice thing about the pillar staff here is it doesn't give the plus level, and it does give huge amounts of scaling, so you're in a good spot. Like it's kind of the best of everything that a fizz staff can give you right now. Just you need something else to give you the base damage. So that's where the hands and the rings come in. If you don't have the hands and the rings, the staff is useless. Uh, what is the mapping pattern you should do? Uh, Generally, just run away from the start point. Just run straight away. My map is glitched right now, but I kind of did a large berth around it, and then I just went straight line to the southeast. And doing a straight line to the southeast is obviously giving me better things with the citadels. And after that, once you start seeing citadels, it doesn't matter what you do. It's just anywhere in the area can have a citadel, so look and see what makes the most sense. Based on the fact that I see a couple of stone-looking things here, it kind of seems that if I were to come down here and check this tower out, there's probably going to be a stone citadel right here. It very much so might not, and it just be 2 maps there, but the fact that I'm seeing a citadel here and a whole bunch of towers, because, oops, didn't mean to do that. It generally has a bunch of towers spawning around citadels, so like there's a citadel here, and there's a triple buff of towers right there. I mean, obviously it's not super consistent because there's a triple here, and I don't think there's going to be anything on this side, but that's just kind of what I've noticed. So try to look for kind of patterns like how here near the citadel you see all these huts and stuff. You can see this out from the fog. You can see the ring around here. That's how I was able to tell that there's going to be a copper citadel here. You just look at the map, look what you got, and rock it. Okay, I'm trying to keep up with the chat here, but it seems I'm reading a little too slow. What does adding an additional modifier to rares do? It's a lot more loot. The harder the rare, the better the loot, essentially, is the thing. And if you open a map in the Ziggurat Refuge, it won't be bugged. Yeah, that is true. I'm aware of that, but I don't really care about seeing the distance of the precursors right now. I knew this was going to hit this area, so I smacked it with quantity and waystone chance. Yeah, I don't need to see all the circles right now. It'll be a nice quality of life thing when it pops up, but yeah, I'm not worried. Did you consider dropping some int strength and going all in with dex attack speed for faster clears because damage isn't a thing? I have, but strength also gives me energy shield, and I really like survivability. I got some pretty good dex right now, but I was talking about it earlier. I'm going to come down here and path these in and grab this guy so that I can move this jewel up here. I think that is going to be fantastic, but the thing that's holding me back is because I have a really good Verona Jewel with its natural energies. It's going to suck to lose this, because this here is like over 600 energy shield, I'm pretty sure. So 9200, 8600, yeah, it's a lot. That one's going to suck to lose, but my thought process is definitely, if I can, I would move it here and then path down to grab these guys, lose this little travel node here.
I must meditate.
No, Ozymandias, I'm not dying without evasion. I got so much energy shield and I overcap it, so it is not even remotely an issue. With that said though, I'm trying to get a split base to test it out to see how well it works. I had a pure evasion base, but it didn't feel as good because I still kept getting taken out by on-death effects. But I was also using Protect Me from Harm then. I had like an 84% evasion chance, so I should have dropped these nodes for Protect Me from Harm and went Acrobatics. I didn't realize how little physical damage reduction was doing, because when it said Armor Break, I thought that wouldn't matter because I wasn't using armor. I thought I would still have the physical damage reduction, but it seems that you still lose it with and Protect Me from Harm. Thank you, Spunk. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm trying to get the best info out there, helping people with builds, helping with the questions, and going into a lot of detail with the builds, because a lot of people are like, oh my god, look at my damage! Like, I could pump this up so it says literally over a million DPS on it, but that doesn't matter. I want to go into there and be like, I have the reduced cost on there, because that way you can smack around and not really have an issue. I want the rage on there because it buffs the bell for the bossing, and it buffs the heralds for the clearing. I have overcharge on for bossing. Primal armament, people seem to think that's terrible because it's got a mana cost multiplier on there, but it's actually amazing because it also buffs that cold damage, and when you have the fire damage on the ring, it also helps that, which helps with igniting to also buff immolate on the bell. Like, I try to show all this stuff off, and like Tempest Flurry can even freeze. Like, it's crazy. Everything is amazing on there. Just it all works together. And then martial tempo, like you said, helps you with the attack speed to move around faster. If I got the crazy high attack speed though, WB, I would need to down level my Tempest Flurry, and it's not as simple as using like a, what do I have? A level 4 gem. I can't just come here. I can't take my oh, I guess I got to be a higher level than that. Let's see here. I got a level 9. If I take a level 9 one for Tempest Flurry, it
Flurry is a combo
might,
of 4 light.
but it doesn't look like
Tempest
it will
Flurry is a combo-
overwrite it.
Tempest
I might be wrong. Actually, you know what? Let's test this right now. Am I wrong? I already have this equipped, engraved. Yeah, no, it makes a new one. It doesn't overwrite the one I have, whereas if you up level it, it will. So, unfortunately, I can't just down level it. How do you overcap your ES with CI? I gotta get into maps here pretty soon. But I use Grim Feast. You can also use Meditate. They're both really good options. Meditate is better for things like simulacrums. It's really good because it's hard to build it up with the enemies unfortunately being invulnerable, which I do not agree with. They're invulnerable for an extended period of time. They run through like 20 hits of my Tempest Bell, not even exaggerating, before they're targetable, and then they're on top of me and hitting me before I'm able to take them out. So this is definitely a map that's way better with Blink because you can hop over that gap. I like that interaction, that you're able to just bypass the annoyance of this map, but unfortunately Blink has lost his charm. Ooh, Divine Orb, lucky me. Hunting Shoes, I don't think I have that one yet. I'm definitely a unique collector. Without without that unique tab, I think I might have not cared so much, but because of it, it's like my Pokemon, the computer that you store them all. I want my Pokédex decks filled, and I want them all to be alive in my box. Your meditate went overcap. It's you're not holding down the button then. It's a channel. You have to hold the button down. That's yeah. If you're just tapping it, it won't work. Yeah, there's not many channel skills in the game, and if you're not used to it, yeah, just hold the button down, you got it. Now, meditate won't overcap twice over with something like Grim Feast. Like, if you have, in this case, I got 9,000 energy shield, Grim Feast will get me to 18k, meditate will also double, but only to 18k, it won't double to like 36k. Well, I have a feeling I'm gonna have a rare back in the Fog of War where I can't currently see. It works when you don't have CI. That's weird. CI should not affect it. Yeah, if it's broken with CI, then something is seriously wrong. I've heard weird things where people were trying to do the lingering illusion attack and it wouldn't work and they're doing everything right. And then they swapped the gem that they're using for lingering illusion and then it worked. Literally nothing else changed. Let's see here. Do I have a rare? No, I don't. Okay, good. Now, yeah, that seems good on the map. I don't think I actually need to hit this for this map, but I do. It was in the story. Or, like, I do need it to get to the boss, but I mean, if I didn't have a boss, you don't need to hit it at the end. How much strength is necessary? As much as you can get. Try to get at least 200 all stats, but that's not too difficult when you get the right passes on the tree. I don't even think I dropped out there. No, I didn't. That's funny. I just hit him. If you only had one jewel socket available, which attribute would you prioritize on a corrupted jewel? That does not matter. Any attribute. Just tick any one at all, because you're gonna fit the gaps on your tree with whatever you got for your travel nodes. So as you can see, I got a few decks here. I got a strength there, which is funny. I'm gonna balance that because it looks gross. Go. Let's see, what are my attributes? Yeah, they're the good balance right now. This is dex, now this is strength. Just so that way they keep in a nice little cohesive order. For the most part here, these are all strength, these are all strength, these are all strength, these are all strength. Unfortunately, these nodes here inside the Verana Jewel and inside this here, the Controlled Metamorphosis Diamond, don't give anything. It's a glitch. See, like, look, I'm at 345 strength and 320 int. I swap it, it stays the same. It's really stupid. They will be fixing that. It's the same with these ones. 345 strength, switch it to int. It stays the same. Once they fix this glitch, that's going to be 15 more attributes for everybody who uses this same setup, and it's a lot. But that's a GGG issue, not an S issue. But then yeah, as you can see, I continue almost entirely strength. I got these two dex ones. Only one of them is outside. I should probably swap those to keep them with the rest of the decks. And then put the int there. So put this strength. Put this strength. And because only one of them actually changes, this one's no dex. And now I've got nicely balanced attributes again. So if you don't have the Heroic Tragedy Jewel, it's not worth stacking strength as the highest. Like, it's really good for the damage numbers here. Well, also I should say, if you don't have flat damage on your rings, it also makes strength worse. But when you do have the Verona Jewel and flat damage on your rings, and a good int to stack the flat from your gloves. Strength is amazing because it does your defenses and it does your overall damage scaling just ridiculously high. Dexterity is attack speed on gloves, attack speed on weapon, and attack speed here. So attack speed is obviously a great stat to be stacking because with Tempest Flurry it moves you faster, but it also chunks your mana, so only take as much dex as you can handle. I'd say try to aim for about 300. 300 is a really good number. It's a good breakpoint. 315 is one. If I could have got this to 325 easily, I would. But if I drop strength, it drops 2 hits of it, and I only get 1 hit of dex, so I lose damage. I will be putting points into here to give me more dex, and then more dex, and then that will help with that attribute stacking, and then it will balance a lot better. Int, the main thing is you just want it in a by 10 range because you get it by 10 on your gloves and by 5 on your weapon. So it's good quality of life with that AoE, but if you're feeling good with the AoE that you have, int is just, it gets less important if you got really good added damage on your rings because this is a huge base, and then strength scales it all a lot harder. So int is a very important stat, but I'd say strength is the most once you get the Verana Jewel, and then it gives you the great defensive scaling. Before you get that jewel, the most important is int to get, and before you get the base damage rings, int is the most important because that's how you get any damage. Once you get all of those, say you didn't have the rings but you did have the jewel, go strength. If you didn't, then attack speed could be nice just for the feel of it, but your damage will go way down against bosses. So it's good to have a balance of all three. They're all quality of life. This is survivability, this is mobility, and this is clear with the AoE. Take whatever you prefer. This is the split that I prefer. I think strength's the best for me because I don't like dying.
I must meditate.
And how much strength do you think is necessary? Oh, I just kind of went over that now. Also, hello, Anner. How are you?
Go on.
Oh, 47 people. Howdy do to all of you. It's good to have you over. Things are growing fast. 1 max power charges and crit damage per power charge. That's actually an interesting pair of boots. I won't use it, but it's quite interesting. This could be a lot of damage. Like, if I were to put this on instead of this, my bossing damage would be much higher because I'd have 6 power charges saved up. 6 times 8 is 48% critical damage bonus. Holy crap. 48% critical damage bonus. Yeah. That could be funny. This could be really, really good against bosses. Yeah, if you want to one-tap bosses even harder, here it is. Yeah, you're welcome to Nichols. I'll definitely take a look at it as soon as I can. Obviously, you see that there is a pretty big list, but I am going to be taking the people that are the most interactive and the most involved with the community. I need to kind of pick and choose because some people just drop their builds off and disappear, and so it's not the most it's not the best choice. Just do first come first serve if people are not going to interact at all. I wanted to reward the community for being actually a part of a community. I know I've seen you around a lot, so you're definitely a part of the community. Get really close to the Citadel. Looks like I need to get to the mine shaft to be able to even activate it. It'd be nice if I could come down here to get this tower. I think I'll do that. I'll come down here, then unlock this mine shaft. Then I'll be able to unlock all this bit of map to see what's going on too. Okay, I'll do these two. This Cenotes and this oh, Myers the worst. Could even do this one. I like Breach more than Expedition. Also, who is here? Jelly Monk? What are you doing, Jelly Monk? What is this? Also, I can't seem to scroll my chat. This is weird. There we go. Fixed it. I don't know what's going on, but we have a visitor. Howdy do, Jelly Monk. You're on video. Experience gain. Yeah, every once in a while it starts to work so that you can see the radius on here. Don't know why it starts to work, but sometimes it does. You lose against the boss trying to get Ingenuity Belt. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's a really important belt. It's definitely not mandatory, but it's extremely important. It is the best belt in the game for literally every class, so it's just that good. Well, so Jelly Monk, you're Anner. Welcome to the video. You are definitely on TV. uh, your old MF ring and recognize it. Oh, that makes sense. How do you do? I remember that. That was kind of funny. I just got really lucky with finding this ring. It was a couple of divine. I think it was like 2 or 3 divine. And then I sold my ring, and that was pretty fun. That was pretty fun that you popped on there. I think yours gave like the same rarity and a little bit better like resistances and stats, but this one gave the base cold and it helped me a lot. I hope that ring is doing you good. I hope you got really good drops. 32 div is the cheapest Verana? What the heck? Also, yes, Zamph, my build is on max roll. I'm updating it whenever I can. I think I have a pretty good version of it out there right now. When the patch does come out, I will be checking to see what they changed and then update it again afterwards. And I will make a video about the update. In that video, I'll be showing what I've already showed you guys with like the crazy damage tech with here on my bells and Tempest Flurry to one-shot it every time, one bell, not needing the not needing elemental profusion. Is that what it's called? Elemental something. Elemental conflux. Got +3 charge shaft, a large and a level jewel off the arbiter, but it lowers damage compared to a crit rate jewel. Endgame jewels. +3 charge staff level jewel off the arbiter. I don't know what jewel that is, Jeremy. It sounds really interesting. +3 charge staff level jewel. Interesting. Very interesting. I don't know what that jewel is, but I like it a lot. Oh, you're on the wrong YouTube account, Anna? You have multiple YouTube accounts? That's interesting. ArcViz, I'd prefer not because I get spammed in here quite a bit already with questions, and if I'm adding everybody, it's going to explode really fast, really hard. If you want to get a little bit more one-on-one talking, I'd say join the Discord. That's where a lot of the actual communication comes out, and like we can help each other. Just join the server, and we can hang out there. Chad, rebuilding your monk yesterday to something similar to mine. It's a bit pricey, but it's given you a good goal to focus on and is getting more enjoyment. Oh, I'm really glad you're enjoying the game more. I'm happy for you, man. Like, it's really unfortunate how expensive the Verana jewel has gotten. Before that jewel, oh man. Oh, it used to be kind of cheap and kind of nice. Like,
No escape.
yeah, I don't know why it completely magnified in price, but if you want to wait, potentially it'll go down, because if they're making ritual better, which they said they're going to be increasing the drop rate by a lot, then it might be going down eventually, but you're going to have to wait a couple of weeks for that potentially. If you're able to get it, it might be worth to get it sooner because it's just going up in price. It's a speculative thought that it might go down with Ritual being better. Did they say they were rebalancing the patch? I thought it was more QOL. Yeah, it is mostly just quality of life. They're not really rebalancing anything for the classes. They might be fixing a few things they're just breaking, like how I was talking about that one ring that does a lightning bolt on crit for literally infinite damage if you have Temporalis. They might be changing that interaction because it's crashing servers, but that's about it. They don't want to nuke people's builds, they just want to fix things that are bothering people. Well, ArcViz, I'm glad you did catch me in live. I'm having a good time. I'll be streaming for a little bit longer. Not 100% when the girlfriend's done work. I'm gonna have to check that out, but she's gonna need some food. I bet she's gonna be pretty hungry. She left her lunch at home, which made me sad. But for the most part, what did I get? 2 divine orbs in the last half hour. I haven't gotten a divine orb all week, and I get 2 when I stream. Heck yeah. But yeah. She is just starting a new job. She started at 5 a.m. this morning. She's gonna need a little bit of help and attention when she gets home. I know I'd be feeling pretty sorry for myself if I started at 5 in the morning. Oh, what did I hit? I guess I should bound my mouse to screen, but oh well, it's fine. The build ring have been great. The only problem we ran into is Simulacrum. You lost 200. How did you lose 200 exalts in Simulacrum? What happened? Oh, because the cost of Simulacrum. Yeah, they're difficult. You have to do a little bit of tweaking for Simulacrum. I was talking about it earlier, but essentially what I found so far that works, definitely not Frozen Palm. Frozen Palm does not work. Herald Device does not work because the bodies do not shatter, they do not explode. So what you need to do is you need to drop Herald Device. You can use the Blasphemy Aura if you wanted to for temp chains. It helps a little bit, but I don't think it does enough. What works a lot better, and it's a little bit awkward, is you gotta get minions. I used the Skeletal Brute, and it took a lot of aggro off of me. It got a lot of aggro gone, and that kept me alive to the end pretty consistently, but the Skeletal Brute did pop. A potentially better way is to use Skeletal Clerics. They will still take aggro, and they heal each other. And so you're using that with this Minion pact to get some more damage off, and it's pretty incredible how much damage you get. It's a 30%, 30 or 40% multiplier. It's a 40% multiplier, so it's about the same as getting concentrated effect, and it just nukes things. So yeah, you get minions on your bar to take aggro away from you. It helps immensely. You put Minion Pact onto Tempest Flurry. Unfortunately, you can no longer use Lingering Illusion because the minions make it really awkward. Like, you can, it's just really derpy and weird. It doesn't feel the best. And then you got to take off Herald of Ice, obviously. And finally, the last 2 things, instead of going Unbound Avatar, you go to Meditate, so you can overcharge your energy shield between rounds. And then Bell, you take off Concentrated Effect, and you take Magnified Effect from your Herald of Ice and put it on the Bell. That way, instead of your Bell doing a small AoE like this around you, it's doing about, I don't know, about 50% to 2/3 of the screen. And then with that huge AoE around you, it really helps clear things as soon as it gets to you and from afar. That's what allowed me to farm the Simulacrums. And so I still don't use increased limit on it, but I think that would be fantastic because really you don't need the damage. I'd say swapping Magnified Effect and then taking off Immolate, since I don't even take off my Magic Mind Rings, I'll leave that on, and putting on the increased limit would allow it so that you're not in a situation where you might be fighting with the awkward Simulacrum enemies, and then you still have everything you need for when a boss comes, you just drop it on it and nuke it. Yeah, it's definitely streamer luck. Like, I've noticed that a lot of times. Whenever I turn the video on, it's just way better loot drops than what I was getting the whole rest of the day. So yeah, I've started recording myself even when I don't have something worth recording, just for the hopes. Trick it into thinking that it's going to be posted. Come on, game, give me the good. Prism of Belief Droll. Oh, okay, I'm gonna look into that one right now. So Prism of Belief. So this wiki is crap. It gives a lot of, yeah, that is cool. Okay, so if you're wanting huge damage increase, getting a Prism of Belief with Tempest Bell, because unfortunately I don't have a way to give it a +1 level, but holy crap. Yeah, if you could get 3 levels to Tempest Bell and get this to level 20, you'll be doing even more damage than I am. And so like, this says 37,000, but it's also 30% more multiplier for if I'm hitting an ignited enemy. And if I'm using my bossing rings, I'm always hitting an ignited enemy. So that'd be like an extra almost 10, actually more than 10,000 on top of it. So it'd be like 47,000 damage per shockwave. So yeah, then you stack that crazy level multiplier up there, it'd be like another, what, 15% more multiplier? That's, I don't think it'd be worth it for any of the heralds, and I don't think it'd be worth it for charge staff, because charge staff mostly you're just using it for the extra attack to hit the bell more. I don't think it'd be worth it for Tempest Flurry, because then it just ups the mana cost, doesn't really do much. But on bell, holy crap. Yeah. I I personally don't need the damage. I need the crit chance on here. The crit chance and the attributes help me so much. Same thing with like the maximum energy shield and the stun threshold. But if I had just like a useless gem slot, or like I was gonna come down here and keep this slot kind of thing, I think that would be incredible. And howdy do no one. I love the name. Huge Arya Stark fan. If you haven't seen it on my channel, the thing there is a Serial Pharrell quote. Would it be saved to the god of death? Oh man, I love the name. But yeah, I do not have Astromentus. I'm not anywhere close to getting Astromentus. It seems to be scaling up in price faster than I can build currency, unfortunately. You're following my build and crushing it. Appreciate the build guide and how thorough it is. Yeah, I don't like build guides that leave a lot to be figured out by the person. Like if you, there should be things that you should just kind of already know when you're following a build guide. Like you should know how the skill gems work and stuff like that. But if you're doing like specific interactions, it's really important to tell how the interactions work together. And if you don't, then you're not doing a build guide, you're just showing off how much damage you can do. So yeah, I'm glad that it's helping you guys able to be well, help you be able to like recreate what you're seeing here. Obviously, if you're not getting the exact numbers, it's just a gearing thing and you'll get it eventually. So yeah, glad that you appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming by. You followed like 30% of that. Sounds like I just gave you a new vid topic. Yeah, possibly. I was actually doing this quite a bit earlier. If you want, I'll show you exactly how I was putting this together, but I could do a simulacrum. It's just right now I'm pretty sure I finished this map. Yeah. I'm just kind of working towards the Copper Citadels so that they're ready to go I, as soon as the patch does come out. Because it'd be really nice with like big waystone chance things to get a whole bunch of these bossing stones. Like, I don't have a lot. I got 1 crisis and 2 ancient, but if all of a sudden I just got like 6 of the other ones from really stacking it, that would be pretty cool. I want to do a bunch of the arbiter fight. I want to unlock it, and I just got the means to, essentially. Yeah, about level 10 with less mana. I'm not really a fan of down leveling Tempest Flurry because it massively reduces the damage of it, and so that reduces the cold, fire, lightning scaling. And when I'm bossing, my ring here has the fire damage on it. Right there, fire damage, and so I want it to ignite every time, I want it to shock every time, I want it to chill every time, and I just don't want to mess with that. And plus, I don't really have mana issues, but if you do have mana issues, it's definitely worth having, because Tempest Flurry isn't your main thing. As long as you're able to get the chill and the ignite off if you have the flat on rings, then it will super buff your bell, super buff it. And in maps, it's mostly the heralds doing all the damage. So yeah, I did that map there. Here, let's see.
How can I help?
Do I have any exalt really? 55. I'm gonna have to
How
sell
can I help?
probably 2 divines to do this, but yeah, sure. Let us sell 2 of these. It shouldn't take too long to get my 118.5 per divine. Wow, these got expensive. Somebody really underlisted theirs. They're silly. And they put a bunch on there. Alright, well, whenever that sells, it'll sell. And then I'll show you the simulacrum. Probably it won't won't take too long. I'll do one more map. Delirium map. What's a crappy looking one? 41, Delirious 21, 20, 45, 69 with like nothing on it. Perfect. Because this is not a good looking zone, I just want some simulacrum splinters. There we go. My travel map is now going to be a delirium map. But yeah, simulacrums can be a pain. A real pain. Oh. Hold on here. I just got a message, gotta quickly reply. Hope you're not too hungry. See you soon, love. There we go. I don't think I'll have too much time after this. I gotta quickly check on the fridge what time she works till today, but I think she works till 1:30. It might be 2:30 though. If it's 2:30, then we can definitely do a simulacrum. If it's 1:30 though, I'm sorry, it'll have to be the next stream, but I'll be streaming tomorrow. It looks like a lot of you have showed up, and this is a good time frame for me. I'll be able to come out for sure and do a lot more testing there, show you what my thought process is on certain things, and basically how I just don't die, or at least try not to. Yeah, I think right now the simulacrums are the hardest content for this build because the heralds don't work, but it's not even because of that, it's because this. When they come out of the shard here, they're invulnerable for like a full second or two, and it's painful. It's really painful. It makes it so that they're right on top of you and already attacking before they become targetable, and that makes them just slowly whittle down your energy shield the whole time. And because you're not able to do really big explosions, like even Frozen Palm does not work, or Shattering Palm, whatever it's called, it does not work. So, oops, lots of on death there. That's why I go big energy shield, so it doesn't kill me. But yeah, Shattering Palm does not work to keep you alive from it, unfortunately. It doesn't give good shock siphon charges, it doesn't pop things in big AoE explosions. It wasn't it. So I know there's going to be better tech than what I got, but so far I'm trying to go for more survivability instead of just damage, because the issue isn't damage, the issue is them being untargetable. You deleted tier 4 breach boss with just spending 3 div on gloves. That's fantastic, buddy. Good job, Totsi. Or Totiz. Oh, sorry, I'm reading one person's name above. Well job, WB. I'm happy for you about that. Like, if you have any bit of way to scale the gloves, they are absolutely ridiculous. They're probably best in slot even if you're not an attribute stacker, but if you like actually lean into how good they are, it makes everything so much better. Like, think as your gloves as your weapon and everything else is scaling the gloves. Hold on here. There's a bunch of comments, I gotta catch up to them, sorry. It'd be cool if I did Simulacrum. Yeah, I fully plan on checking to see if I have time for that right now, and if not, it'll be tomorrow. But I fully plan on doing it as soon as I can for you. Any tips on how to get some divines? There's no real tips for getting divines to drop more often, but for getting more divines, you just need to sell your gear. If you got some things that are like 2 or 3 good mods, but they're missing some mods, don't just list them up for like 10 exalt or whatever the current offer is. Try to hit them with like the 2 exalt to see if they go up to being worth a divine or 2 divine. Look at the market to see what people actually want and try to fish for that. If you see something like, the thing that I'm selling quite fast and often is crafting breach rings, because I do so many of the breach stones. I get a lot of level 82 breach rings. I just hit those and hope for the best, and any ones that are worth anything I put up for like however many exalt or divine that it's worth, and then that's been keeping me pretty flush. Other than that, it's just keep farming, keep grinding. Some people like Fubgun seem to get really rich every season. They know how to manipulate the market, and they use things like TFT to get help from people, and they also, for whatever reason, I'm not saying Fubgun gets community to support for his builds, but I know some streamers do, and I'm not a big fan of that. Like, getting some things for testing, like, hey, can you use this? Like, if somebody were to hand me an Astramantis to see how much damage it did, that'd be pretty cool, but then, you hand it back afterwards. Some guys, they will just take that and walk away with it because they're like, oh great, I'll test this a lot. But no, that kills the game for me. You need to grind your own stuff. But if somebody were to come by and be like, hey, here's a breach stone, or hey, here's a simulacrum, use that for a video, that's different. That's way different than handing you the endgame gear. And so, anyways, I don't know how I got onto that tangent, but yeah, just keep farming the content that you have. Go on the maps, hit the breaches to get breach stones so that you can keep doing the breach lords to get those rings to craft. If you like simulacrum, or if you like delirium mobs, make sure that you get the actual nodes on your atlas tree. Like, without these nodes on the atlas tree, you're going to be suffering. Loot drops are pretty bad until you get the nodes on the atlas tree. Like, getting bosses to drop more waystones and to up the level of the map, and also give more quantity on the boss drops, it's nuts. The boss drops are fantastic. My delirium maps felt horrible until I bought 2 simulacrums to get these 2 points. Then they felt great, and then when I got this, it felt even better. And I don't know, I'm probably gonna get, I don't know, maybe make it slower, maybe generate an extra reward type, maybe, I don't know. I probably make it the fog last longer. This one here is really interesting as well, but it's only delirium bosses drop more splinters, so I think the best way is to get more mirrors and to make it last longer. So yeah, just find the content you like and hit it hard. I got lucky that I really like breaches. I like breaches in Path of Exile 1 as well, and so the fact that they're very lucrative has helped me a lot. every time I have a stash tab full of the catalysts, like even the catalysts that are worth nothing, I just list it all on the currency exchange. You gotta use the currency exchange. It's such a massive quality of life increase. I sell it for slightly cheaper than what the highest listed price is. I don't sell automatically to the people who are having buyout prices. And then they all sell in like literal minutes. And you usually get like a hundred exalts or a couple hundred exalt based on what catalyst you have. And just constantly converting my currency over through the currency exchange. The things that I don't need, I convert to the things that I do need. And yeah, it helps a lot. It helps an incredible amount. I don't know when the patch is coming out. They said it's going to be coming out this week, but they said that on Sunday. And usually when they say it's coming out soon, it's sooner than you'd expect. So it's already been, this is the 4th day, and we're expecting it kinda soon. It might be Friday to give them more chance, and then to hit the new patch over the weekend. But I'm thinking it'll probably be Thursday, so that if there's any issues, they'll have Friday to work on it. Also, again, I just walked into a bunch of on-death stuff. This is the reason why I swapped away from the evasion-based one, because when I was evasion, that stuff would have just straight up popped me. But with the energy shield base, it is survivable. But on top of that, I still believe a split base ES and evasion is the best. If you can get that, fantastic. You're welcome to approach. I'm happy that the videos are helping you out. I really am. I'm having a lot of fun doing them. I I made an anti-boss guide last night that I'm putting out, and it is I'm pretty proud of it. I think you guys will get a kick out of it. It's got good advice in there if you do literally the exact opposite of what I say for some of it, and I think that makes a great video. I think it'll help you out if you can see the satire. And it'll be pretty hard to miss the satire. Yeah, the Verana jewels are nuts. You don't necessarily need to buy a Verana directly. You can get one of the other ones and divine it to try and make it a Verana. But people have caught on to that trick, and so they're only like 3 div cheaper for a non-Verana. Holy... Yeah, like... I just got 44 splinters from that map. Before I would have got like 2 to 4. That's nuts. Yeah, so anyways, you're not really going to get a cheaper one just for the fact that it's the wrong base, because it's like on average 3 divine or so to hit a Verana, so it's just unfortunate that it keeps going up in price. I do think there is a possibility it will go down in price though after the patch when they make Expedition better.
What can I do for you?
Is it better to sell breach stones or run them for getting good breach rings? I personally think it's better to run them, but only if it's level 82. If it's level 82, like I got all these lower level breaches, 81s and whatnot, I'm not really worrying about dealing with these yet, because whatever, there's a lot of them out there. But in my tab here, these are all level 82 breach rings, and I'm going to roll them up best I can to try and make more attribute rings, because everybody wants attribute rings. If I can get something worth doing, fantastic. I have all these ones that I tried rolling and didn't come out the best, so depending on if I think they're worth smashing anything into them, I might hit some exalts into them. Like one of them, for example, like this one here looked like it was probably worth putting some exalts into. It had some really good attack damage, strength, and cold res. So like here, I just come here, smack it with a couple exalts. It hit cold damage. This one here is going to be worth something good. It's probably worth a couple of divine, because that big cold damage plus 33 strength, that's got to be something, and then you could use the cold res on it to stack it up pretty high. They're saying that's a div. Sure, that seems about right. Let's put it on for a div, and I bet this is going to sell. That's the kind of stuff that I do to get kind of currency. Just selling rings, but obviously I got all these other ones that don't want to sell, so I'll take them. They've been there for a little while, I don't know how long, and I'll drop them into my 70 Exalt tab now. Those are all decent. Oh, that, I thought I had a space. Do and do. These are all very good rings, like 12 to all attributes and 33 dex with some flat fire and a big fire resistance. This is an incredible ring. I'm selling it for a steal at 70, but you know what? I'd rather it sell than it just sit for one divine until somebody hits it. And yeah, so this one here, you go in the 40 Exalt tab now. And I just keep moving down, and so like I might be having some things for an absolute steal, some things might be a little overpriced. It doesn't matter, as long as it sells, that's all that important. I don't need to get the absolute min-max amount for every single thing. If it helps somebody, great, and as long as it gives me more than I put into it, even better. This is the entire basis of my trading. And if any, I was trying to get rid of these kinds of things and all of these to people who didn't have enough gold, but they haven't logged on. So I'm probably just going to take my entire 5 Exalt tab, sell it, put my entire 10 Exalt tab into my 5, 15 into 10, 20 into 15, etc. It'll take a little bit, but it's something that needs to be done. And when you do that, eventually things will sell. And so, yeah, it's worth it. Best way to change endurance charges. Best way to change endurance charges to power charges. There's only one way, and it's not changing endurance to power. Like, gain endurance instead of power, and gain frenzy instead of endurance. If you're getting endurance charges from somewhere, I'm not too sure where, but resonance is the only way you'd get it normally, and you'd get that by converting your frenzy charges into endurance, or your power charges into endurance. Uh, those are fine though, because if you're using charge infusion, it gives you a big energy shield. But like, I'm not too sure what you're asking with that question. It's a little bit different. To protect. Sorry. Best way. Okay, how can I switch Alroth to Verana in Timeless Jewels? You gotta hit it with Divines. So as you can see, when I hover over this, it says Verana to Olroth. That means that will change if you hit it with a Divine, and it'll also change the seed number anywhere from 100 to 8,000. It doesn't matter what the seed number is. If you have an Olroth and you don't want to use it because it gets rid of your mana, like it's really good for stacking evasion if you're an evasion base, but it kills your mana and gives big mana issues. You hit it until you hit Verana, and then don't touch it again. Even if you don't get this node, just don't touch it again. Thoughts for Ice Strike for mapping and bossing. It's a really good skill. I like it at lower level mapping and through the campaign, but when you get higher level, it gets worse than Tempest Flurry in my personal opinion, because Tempest Flurry has the mobility and it does more damage with the bell. But it is a very good skill. It just, when you're attacking, it doesn't move you unless you're teleporting to the enemy. And that's gotten me hit by a lot of on-death effects and just random AoEs and projectiles. So that's why I like Tempest Flurry. Its innate mobility does protect you quite a bit. What do you think about this build versus Auto Bomber build? I don't know what the Auto Bomber build is. Is that the one where you teleport around with sparks? If not, then I don't know what it is. Yes. Yes, these frog portals are amazing. They're the best thing GGG has ever replaced. I bought them on sale as well, and oh, I will never get off these things. These things are incredible. His name is Mortimer, and he is a very good boy. Timeless, Verana Drill will not increase your damage, just your survivability, but boy does it ever increase your survivability. So like here, you can see my damage is 219,000. I take it out, it's actually goes up because it gives me these attributes back. It's just a glitch, it shouldn't do that. But 9200 energy shield goes down to about 6,000 energy shield with it out. So It is a monster amount of survivability if you're energy shield stacking, or even split base stacking. How do I farm gold? I just do maps. Maps, 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 and then when I'm done with maps, I would say, come here. Oh no, I got a full tab of stuff. Great. Instead of disenchanting, I just come to this guy and I go, and I get tens of thousands of gold. It's pretty worth it. It stacks up fast, it stacks up hard. My item filter takes out a lot of rares now, but it still stacks up really fast. Yes, it will be applied to corrupted gear as well. Corrupted gear does not lock the rune in there. It didn't in Path of Exile 1, it shouldn't in Path of Exile 2 because it's no different than the skill gems. It should just slot in, slot out. If it doesn't, I will be very, very surprised. But if you're getting endurance charges from Lingering Illusion, it's because you left it Resonance on. I don't know what you need from me. You gotta turn off Resonance. Don't know when 1.1 or 0.1.1 will come out, but I believe it will be today or tomorrow. I don't think it'll be Friday because I think they'll want Friday to fix things if anything comes up as an issue from the patch. Thank you, Luke. I appreciate it. I'm enjoying making the vids. I really, really am.
Hello there.
Let's see here. I got to get a simulacrum. Well, how close am I? I'm getting really close to farming a simulacrum. I'm only 50 away. That's like 2 maps based on what it's been getting. So yeah, I'll just wait. Buy a simulacrum. Love my videos? Thank you. Yeah. I like to be as informative as possible. Build a Maxwell. Are the skills priorities in order? I'm a new player and only 1 4 league gem. For priorities of what to link up, when you said priorities, first I thought you meant like what support gems to get, and it doesn't really matter too much, just whatever fits for you the most. If you're having mana issues, you put in inspiration. If you can get rage on here, overcharge is good for bossing, but it's not good for anything else, so you take that out first. Primal armament is fantastic, but if you're having mana issues, you take that out. And martial tempo, it's fantastic as well, but if you're having mana issues, you take that out. So just like whatever works best for you, really. For overcharged, I like perpetual charge, but it is not necessary. You can take it out. Electrocute neural overload is how I get the electrocute procs. It's fantastic. It charges the bell and it's really, really good. It's also a defensive lair. Lightning infusion is just damage, not required, but it's good. Same thing with culling strike. I couldn't think of a better thing for the 6th slot, but this works pretty well. It's nice to have, but it's definitely not required. Tempest Bell, concentrated effect, fantastic, but it's only good for bosses. It's not good for mapping, unless you're just using it to pop rares and elites, or rares and uniques. So that is definitely what I was doing, so I kind of use it for the most part, but if I'm doing simulacrums, it is magnified effect, because you need the more AoE there. Immolate is just bosses. I don't even have fire damage on my rings for mapping, but it's already doing so much that I don't need to worry about it. Close combat's incredible, but it jacks the mana cost, so if you wanted to, you could take it out to make it cheaper. Potential and Rising Tempest are my favorite 2 for the bell, though, because almost always before I hit the bell, I'll hit Unbound Avatar and supercharge it. For all these heralds, just follow the order. These 4 are really important, but you could take out ambush for where are you? Where's Longshot? Oh, I have it on as well. Longshot and ambush are kind of interchangeable, but ambush with the crits kind of increases the effectiveness of the freeze buildup based on this down here with magnitude of non-damaging ailments. So for Herald of Thunder, you need 4 links, no question. Well, technically you need 3, but it's way, way, way better with 4, because Ice Bite, Cold Infusion, Glaciation, and one of these 2 will help you get the freezes off a lot. And then Herald of Ice, also 4, with the Innervate, again, it helps the same way, with Magnified Effect and Shock Siphon to keep you alive. I guess that's technically 3, but I would put in one of these 2 into Herald of Ice if you only had 4. Then the next points when you have extra, Cold Mastery is good in here, there's not much better. Conduction is not required, but again, I couldn't think of much better to do, and I wanted to make my Herald of Thunder really consistent with freezing. That's why Ambush and Long Shot is really good that way. But for which ones to level up first to try and get 5 and 6 length, the Bell for bossing, number 1 for sure. Tempest Flurry, you don't need to worry about that. The Bell is number 1. Number 2 would be the Heralds, either or, whichever one you prefer. And then after that, Tempest Flurry, then Charge Staff. I didn't have Charge Staff leveled up for a long time, and it's really not necessary. There's a lot of skills in here you can take out, but they're all very helpful for sure. And then yeah, I hope that helped you. That's about the best I can describe it. I don't think there's really anything else you need to worry about. Just make sure everything works well with what you have in your build. You're running around Tempest Flurry level 5 to not have issues. Yeah, I talked about that earlier, and I don't need to worry about it because I don't have mana issues. The big reason for mana issues is using Cast on Shock or Elemental Invocation or Cast on Crit, that sort of thing. But if you're still having mana issues, even with Inspiration in and taking out the multipliers, like even taking out Primal Armament if you really had to, then yeah, down level it for sure. But once you get a decent little mana pool, and you get on your skill tree a single, not this one, where are you? This one here, recover mana on kill jewel. That will take care of your mapping mana issues almost entirely. You might need to hit like a mana potion every once in a while, like I have to on simulacrums every once in a while, but that's it. And then on bossing, using mana remnants, it super helps. Spirit depends not only on energy shield, it depends on evasion and energy shield. So you just want a really, really good evasion or energy shield or split evasion energy shield chest. You don't want an armor energy shield, you don't want an armor evasion, just evasion and energy shield matter. You can put a rune in, but it'll destroy the previous one. Yeah, exactly. It'll destroy the previous one. And it's fantastic. You don't need the runes to survive. You just need to swap to what you actually need. The one running around like a lawnmower. Yeah, that one's fine. It's better on Gemling because they stack the travel nodes better. It's definitely completely fine. This one would work with that, no issue. It's better with Astromantis, obviously, because then you don't need to worry about it. But if I were to move into that one, I would drop obviously the power charges. I would drop this tech here, save these 2 points. I'd get these points here for the dex and attack speed, then I'd come up here for the big attack speed, and I'd basically be doing that, but I'd also need to down level my Tempest Flurry. And that build is really fantastic at mapping, but less good at bossing. It's still good at bossing because it procs the bell really fast, but this one here is way better for bossing, and I want it to be an all-content build. And this is 100% an all-content build. How can I drop the Timeless Jewel? You gotta do the Expedition boss. It's not guaranteed either. Valuing the 3 links for 2 heralds. It's not good. It's a good idea to do. These definitely are like dirt cheap. You can get a bunch of them for a single exalt. It's really cheap. These ones here are not really expensive anymore. Like if you have a few exalts, Greater Jeweler Orb, they're only 18 exalt now, so they're pretty affordable if you're willing to put in a little bit for it. You can get 2 for 37 and get them immediately if you have 37 exalt. If you don't, I first thing would do is suggest coming to I want exalted orbs. Do you have chaos orbs? Trade them in. Or orbs of alchemy, if you have a whole bunch of them, trade them in. But I don't think that price is really worthwhile there. Because I do a bunch of breaches, I could come in here, trade them in. Like for example, here, Neural Catalyst, I have 78 of them, and you get about 8 of them for an exalt. So come here and I trade all 78 for about 10 exalts. I wish I had 79, so that way I could be at the very tippy top of the list, but here, 70, let's try 72 for 9, for 8, or for 9, but then I go 71, so that way you can maximize how much you get after. After those 300 sell, I'd be the top one, or else I could just sell all 72 for 9 and get it probably in a few seconds. Like, this is just how I deal with almost all my mana issues when I need, or currency issues. I come out here and I sell my catalyst when I got way too many. So like, another good one here is the attribute one. This one here sells pretty well. How many do I have here? I'm just trying to go fast, so I got 43. If I want to put, say, 40 of them up, and I want 25 exalts, I will be the first one to get sales. So like, I'm already first on the list. I'm going to get 25 exalt that fast. All you have to do is just see what you got, currency exchange, boom, you got some exalt. You only need 1 recover mana on kilojoule. Yeah, the heralds kill so many things that you don't need to worry about it. And then on top of that, you just need shock siphon on your herald of ice because that does the most killing, and then it keeps your energy shield topped up if it ever drops below your normal maximum. It won't keep up with Grim Feast if like Grim Feast is overcapping it, but they work together as like multiple layers of defense, and you always want multiple layers of defense. This game does not reward glass cannons; it rewards survivable. Like, every time you lose a level, it's very much so feels like you're losing damage because you're not getting those extra passive points. What other best mods besides ES and stun from ES? Yeah. Other than those, mana regen is a nice mod to get because it helps you just keep going, not having mana issues, but it's not required. The best one is critical hit chance, because that way I got a bunch of critical hit chance here, critical hit chance here, critical hit chance here, so that it's allowing me to take off these crit chance nodes here, and it's ridiculously good. Like, absolutely ridiculously helpful that I'm able to save these passive points just by having them on jewels. And it's also a crazy amount of damage because you're hitting that 50% breakpoint to really help you. And once I'm able to get all this fine-tuned later, it'll probably be tomorrow that I can figure this out, or else I might need another piece of gear that I'm thinking about, but if I can get it, then I will be able to save a lot of skill points and make something kind of unique and special. Yeah, you only need 1 mana on kilojoule. Why do you get the power charges? It looked to me that Charge Infusion only uses 1 power charge. My DPS didn't change from 1 to 3. So there was something you're missing? Yeah, 20% critical damage bonus if you consumed a power charge recently. So that's 60% critical damage bonus. That's the same as the Throat Seeker node without the crit chance reduction, and it's insanely strong. And because of Charge Infusion only taking 1 every 4.9 seconds, and recently being 4 seconds, that means it's up more than 80% of the time, that big critical damage bonus. And then the quality of life of having maximum power charges to up how good your power charge or your charge staff is gives you on here an extra 2 to 40 added quarterstaff lightning attack damage, which is really nice. But more important than that is 6 seconds per power charge gained. This does not stack with persistence or anything. It's only with the power charges. So lasting an extra 12 seconds is very nice. It makes it less annoying to deal with. And if you could get something like a maximum power charges on your gloves or something, that's even better. It's a big damage increase, and it is more than that, just quality of life very nice. Why do you get the power? I see I don't have that much capital at the moment. The disadvantage of falling is you can't upgrade it to 5 link. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to upgrade it to a 5 or 6 link, and you also, the worst part about it is you can't add quality afterwards. So that is a bit of an issue as well, because some things are extremely good with quality. With that said, though, things like charge infusion I think are worse with quality because it adds an extra zero point 0.8 seconds between rounds. Normally that is a really good thing, but I don't want this at 5.7 seconds to take a charge. I want it as low as possible. And so that way, with it as low as possible, it's giving me the 60% bonus critical damage more often. And it's really easy to keep up the charges for me, because I'm just dodging and attacking between packs, and then Combat Frenzy is keeping the Frenzy charges up whenever I attack anything. Sorry, a lot of comments. Just trying to catch up to you guys. You spec'd out of Critical Exploit, went into Tainted Strike. This one's Tainted Strike. Which one's Tainted Strike? Oh, I always had Tainted Strike. Tainted Strike is the best crit damage node on here. Sorry, Jesus. Can't do that. Oh, if it's going to be spam, though, then I'm going to just hit ignore. Unfortunate. No, that can't be a thing. And I think that's even... No. Okay. I thought that was somebody I might have had in there. But nope. I do not want that. Yeah, this is incredible for 30% increased magnitude. But unfortunately, I have ideas that might get rid of it, and it makes me sad because I really, 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 really like Tainted Strike with the big crit hit chance and getting crit chance all the way through here, and then having increased magnitude of your shock. It's nuts. It's so much damage on the bots. So 30% magnitude of a base 20% shock chance. That's an extra 6% shock effect, I guess you should say. It makes it up to 26%, which is 26% more damage. And so when I combine that with overcharge, 75% more magnitude, increased magnitude, I should say, it gives it like 40% more damage. And that's how you're able to one-tap the bosses even without elemental conflicts. It's crazy. And then, yeah. I'm happy I could help. Make sense, Martin. And yeah, Mark, that is everything there. With the ideas I have in mind, that's how I was able to drop these crit chance nodes without really losing anything. This does reduce the damage quite a bit. I'm not too sure if this is the way to go, but if I'm getting a split base, I'm going to have this and drop all this, invest into here, and invest into here. And I think that's how I'm going to end up saving a lot of points and adding a bunch of survivability and damage, but that is a stretch goal. I guess I could check and see if this one guy is online. He had a really nice looking one that I thought might work. I got a whole bunch of these tabs open that I gotta check through first. It looks like Trade's back online, so that's helpful. Gotta verify everything, sign back in. Still can't afford Astromentus. Looks like for the cheapest uncorrupted one is 175 div. And I have just reopened all my trade tabs. My way too many trade tabs. Now is the guy with the one that I wanted online. Oh, that's a nice one. That just got put up online when I was asleep. It's not the stats that I need though. The guy that I was looking at, still for sale. It's been for sale for a while, so who knows, maybe he just walked away from the game. But I guess we'll find out. Yeah, if I could get a big energy shield evasion chest, that would be amazing. Oh, thank you. Glad you like it, Darksea. Yeah, this game is really easy to get lost in, not knowing what's going on, and so just having somebody give a little bit of source of information can make some people feel like they're getting out of a hole of like just unbearable confusion. I know when I first started in this, I had no idea at all what I was doing, and so just it doesn't take too much to feel like you understand. And then when you start getting the basis, seeing how things work, you can figure out everything else from there.
Empower the mighty four.
Nice. +4 shoes. Alrighty. Getting good loot here. I like essences, I just wish the greater essences dropped more often because that's where the money's at, that's how you can make the good stuff. Therefore, if you're trying to make like a really good flat attack ring, you'd get like 2 attack rolls and slap them on rings. I know a lot of people, they try to kind of like hoard knowledge, and it's weird. Like, I understand that you don't want to give all your secrets out when you're still trying to build your character, because then it'll get more expensive, because that's just how the community is. They see something and then they try to take advantage of it before it gets popular. A lot of people just like, they're literally trying to game the system, and it's unfortunate. But if you're in a situation where you can get some information out to help some people before it's expensive, that's the time to do it. Kinda hitting a wall. You're gonna be changing some things tonight. What's the wall where you finding troubles? Well, that's not too bad. It's not too bad at all. So that max life is unfortunate, but it's still got dex, fighter res, and 25 move speed. Yeah, apparently it's not that good. Very unfortunate. So let's go 10 whole exalt. Yeah, nothing down here, unfortunately. It looks like it's kind of a nothing of a zone, but surprised with that there. Bloodwood, it wouldn't be corrupted. I think that should be an auto corrupt map, but oh well. Yeah, we got Citadel here and a Citadel here to do whenever the patch comes out. Pretty big deal. I'm looking forward to that. Alrighty, I will be right back. I gotta check and see what time the girlfriend's done, and if she is done at 2:30, then I will go ahead and grab simulacrum and do that. And if she's done like now, then I shall have to log off, but we'll find out. Alrighty, so she's working till 2:15. I should have time for simulacrum. I'll show how to do that, and then that will be the end of the stream. Hopefully it'll help you guys kind of see where I'm coming from for trying to do a few things. And if it can help you clear through it, that's even better. Oh, apparently that already sold instantaneously. Beverly, not now, girl, just wait. It's my dog asking to go outside. She's a silly one, let's just say. She finds the most inconvenient times to ask to go outside. And she'll ask to go outside like back to back to back for literally no reason. You know she doesn't have to go, but she's still asking. And also, hey kitty. You're not getting the chaining at the monsters, level 81s, you're getting at 79 T15s, but not the higher ones. It looks like chaining invests in crit damage. The thing that'll help the most is getting some flat damage on the ring. If you get flat damage on a ring, that's amazing. That will basically solve your issue entirely, because Like I'm getting flat damage from my, or cold damage on my tree from I Am the Blizzard, 10% as extra cold. But the thing is, your lightning damage is pretty low as a flat, and then I'm converting it with cold infusion. So let's put it this way: without cold infusion, just the I Am the Blizzard, it's 106 flat cold damage. It's not a lot, but then you put on cold infusion, it goes up to 373. It's pretty decent. It obviously really lowers your damage overall, but what you need is the cold damage. Then if you were to put something like lightning or fire damage, it's not going to add much to the low end of the cold, so it's going to stay a little bit consistent, but it will still add to the high end. So that's where like the crits and the long shot will come in to help multiply it. I ran this way for a long time with I just had about 400 on the low end for cold damage, and it was still working decent, but it was a little bit inconsistent and it didn't work on ailment resistant maps. But then even just this 14 to 20 cold, and that's with the cold modifiers added to it to make it better, it like quadruples for cold damage. And that's because it scales so hard with the staff. That little bit of flat damage on there does wonders, absolute wonders for getting the cold procs off. So if you can get that little bit on there, it's the world of difference. And then when you're freezing, you're getting Ice Spike, which makes it even more crazy amounts of cold damage. And then same thing with Innervate, it just scales your damage to make everything chain. So when you go, you just keep running through the map, and so that's why breaches are so good. Where did you knock out Timeless Jewel Diamond History? What do you mean? I don't know what your question is. Timeless Jewel Diamond History. Okay, so that blind doesn't work on it, but +1 minion levels would. I'm just setting up right now for the simulacrum. They're a little bit awkward, I don't want to die, so. Let's go with Dex to balance that back out. Take. Actually, I probably don't need to take them all out. What would I want to reduce? Probably just drop a single crit damage, put this on.
Let's try something different.
Because, like, I could leave it on where I'm still charging, but it's a little bit awkward. So, I'm gonna leave this on like this to make Tempest Flurry stronger. I'm gonna use the clerics. So like I got, let's just say 4 clerics when I come here. See how they're now healing each other a bunch. Because if you're not doing it afterwards, they're fine, they don't need to worry about it, but then you take away their whole 1 health per attack and they just keep healing each other. So these guys will take a lot of aggro from you and keep you alive. I showed how I got so much ES in the last video. I won't really be able to show it off the best here, but yeah, I go into a lot of detail in the 15 most asked questions video. I show literally every detail. That should help you a lot. I won't be able to do a better job of it now, unfortunately. Corrupted Ring got 25% increased damage on top of flat damage mods. Yeah, that's probably really good. That's about as good as getting, like that one's 30 if you dealt the crit recently. This is 20 if you dealt the crit recently. This one here without the jewel on is 25% increase. It's kind of like a notable's worth of increased attack, but the increased damage won't be that much, but it's definitely not going to hurt you. Always having a corrupted mod on it is better. I don't have the stomach to try and corrupt my ring, unfortunately. This one came pre-corrupted, and I just don't want to lose my stuff, but I know they can be a lot better. Like, the only ones that I corrupted were these gloves. Or, not these ones. I have bought and corrupted a lot of these, but these ones specifically I purchased from somebody else. I corrupted my staffs. I've corrupted a lot of things, but I do not have the income to be able to corrupt the stuff that is essential to me right now. And yeah, percent cold damage on rings unfortunately just isn't good. It doesn't do anything for you. I'm sad to say, but yeah. Alright, so now for this, I'm probably going to take off Perpetual Charge for Innervate to keep some lightning damage going. Magnified effect goes on Tempest Spell to take off Concentrated effect. And then I'm going to put on Shock Siphon on my bell as well. So that way, when I'm killing things with the bell, it does a better job to keep me alive because I'm not using my bossing ring, so Immolate doesn't do anything. It's a little unfortunate. I took off... I mean, obviously I'm still using Lingering Illusion, but I took off Resonance, so that way... Or sorry, I turned on Resonance, so that way I'll be getting my power charges from Freezing. I'm not actually sure if Freezing works against these guys. That's something I gotta look into. I'll notice right away if my charge staff is or isn't getting any charges. The percent cold doesn't scale. Oh, it'll scale on Ice Strike. It's just when you look at Ice Strike, you come in here, your lightning damage will be way higher than your cold damage no matter what. Just, it scales way higher with the cold, or with the lightning. Alright, so Simulacrum. Just quickly check something. Okay, good. I got probably... It's 12:18. She's probably in a car already. I'm sorry, guys. I don't have time for Simulacrum right now. I'm set up and ready to go. I'll do a Simulacrum tomorrow morning, though. I will start about 18 hours from now. So it's 2 p.m. my time. I'll be starting at about 10 a.m. Maybe 10:30, depending on what the dogs need. But I apologize. I will need to take care of some food for a very hungry girlfriend who has not had a lunch. Thank you guys for coming out. I really appreciate you.